I really hate seeing that because we have a lot of like art PFPs, but I think also in part why the art PFPs have kind of started dying as well is that you have the AI, man, and that's changed everything because you can train. I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but we're at a point where you could just start training like a Bored Ape Yachts Club, ironically, to spit out images faster than you could create a layered version of a bunch of different apes. I feel, you know what I mean? Even though I know there's a lot of editing and stuff like that. And this wasn't the case, ironically, 2 years ago, because 2 years ago, when the bull market hit, this technology wasn't that well developed. You get what I'm saying? So like now that's another thing that's killing our AIs. So now like when it's coming to functionality, like now we have this thing where last week's guests, they had this idea of like a Web 3.0 Upwork. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, that is something new. You know what I mean? Yeah. We haven't had anyone come and say, hey, we're gonna this is the problem we're gonna solve. This problem of people trying to find work opportunities in Web 3.0 and not have to deal with kind of the BS that you get from Web 2.0. I was like, okay, I'm interested. Here's like 20 ADA. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm in. That's like not a bad price. But and even their project, as it got a little bit of like of a buzz, man, their prices had dropped down too. Their stuff is like 10 ADA right now. So
Yeah.
man, why? Well, yeah. It went down there, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, but that's their newer collection. Their original collection has, as far as I know, still retained its value. I'd have to double check. But I think yeah, man, why you is a big question now, and I think that's and some of the quote unquote drama and or changes related to NFTC that were talked about in the Wednesday space. I think that's also kind of related to this too, where certain projects, as Mal was saying this, because I'm not like spilling the beans on this. Mal was saying this himself that a lot of projects, and even Maria, were using the CNFT rewards and said they'd be there forever, when that wasn't the case. And I'm like, whoa, hey everybody, then you need to start. Why you now, right? What are you developing on your community and stuff like that? That's going to keep people interested and engaged and keep your project relevant. Because the other, I don't know, I think it was on the other guest has been talking about it. That was on the Wednesday Hump Day space. He basically had said that you can see a lot of the projects. What do you call it? What's that thing called again? Staking farms. Staking farms. Yeah. I think it's a staking farm, right? Collapsing.
Yeah.
Like yikes! Like the farms that were there like a year ago or 2 years ago, they've been like, and those are the ones that were also related to NFTs, right? Or CNFTs have been disappearing like over time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's something I guess we're going to be kind of going forward. Are we in a for at least CNFTs? Are we in a consolidation of our small little marketplace? That's like a weird question to think about. And like how do we branch out? So that's why not to be too much on Wolves of Rome's nuts, and they're having a great tournament, but they're at least having a freemium, free to play game where you don't earn rewards, but they can at least go out to the outside of the ADA community and say, hey, we got this free game. And then, then tell them about Cardano. And that's another thing I'd like to see more projects do. Like, what's their outreach to try to get out there? So I feel you, man.
That's the thing. Like, I was really thinking about it over this past week. And I was like, man, I mean, I'm stoked to have, Scat DAO on here. They have some really unique stuff going on. But I was really thinking about it, man. And I was like, dude, out of all the projects that I've interviewed over the past year, there's been a whole lot of similarities. And one of them is buzzwords. And the buzzwords lately is, this has never been done before. That's, well, I guess a buzz phrase. Like, oh, this has never been done before. It sounds like it has been done before, honestly. And I've been, that's been kind of disinterested. I have not bought an NFT since the last time I said on the space that I bought an NFT. I just won't.
But I've gotten into some. I don't want to say names of projects, but I've gotten into some And recently, two of them have underperformed. But again, that's unfair because we are in a bear market, right? But I will say the Goofy Gophers, that was really great. And as a for tax and legal reasons, my wife owns all these things. I made some. I made. I made an. So I bought it at. I bought it after its launch. I bought it at 220. And then it jumped to like over 600. Even with the 10% cut and the fees from the JPEG store, I sold two of them. I was trying to get enough to buy like a third one. So I took a gamble. The reason why their prices are dropping right now is because it was a paused mint. So it was hard to get one because they hadn't released all of them. There was scarcity. Now that they're going to have the mint on the 11th, I saw the writing on the wall, man. I sold as soon as I could because like my plan is to buy in and buy more so I have a chance at rarer ones. So that's what I did. So I kept three. I sold two, but the two I sold was enough to get close to what I had bought in because they basically kind of like close to tripled for me. So I was like, whoa, I got really lucky on this one. So now the gamble I took though is there might be an ADA crash again. So Cardano is at 43 cents, and a lot of products have been doing in the bear market is they have a fiat dollar price, so they don't get hurt. Yeah. Because Goofy Gophers got hurt. They told it when they were on our space. So my only hope is it doesn't go to 20 cents now. I need it to stay closer to 40, and I should at least get a chance to. If I get back in the project, I should at least get a chance to get two more, Goofy Gophers and maybe like a rare one and stuff like that. So now, what their project made them unique was the fact that they have it related to mining rewards, and they've actually been mining Litecoin. But the funny thing about it is the amount of Litecoin and their distribution of what they're mining might not be worth much, to be honest. However, you want to talk about something different. How many NFTs have related gaming, art, and finances related to like mining, right? So that's one of the reasons I think that project stands out. But then the funny thing though is it's so unique. How legal is this project?
Right.
So any day, right? It could be illegal for them for maybe people to get rewards, even though they found this island country, right? That's super crypto friendly. How will people potentially get paid that are regular retail investors, not the Queen of England, which if you don't know, right? The Queen of England, oh my God, she had like offshore accounts. But I digress. I guess it's the 11:06. Are we waiting for more people? Do we need to tweak this space? Do we need to share it?
Yeah, so just kind of like we do always, we just kind of BS for the first few, I don't know, 15 minutes, and then really get started because 09 on East Coast and 06 on the West Coast, it's it's early for people. So we just kind of try to let everybody simmer and have a good time for a little bit, and then we'll get started. It's going to pull the same old, same old. So if you guys hear a bunch of racket and stuff in the background, it's nighttime here in Japan, and my son had somebody over, and they happen to be playing basketball in their room. So you might hear a little bit of thuds here and there.
Your son's playing basketball. Is this a pandemic again?
Nah, there's just they have like a little basketball hoop in his room. He's been taking a liking to.
So when I was trying to like take her to school.
Oh, that's cool. My daughter just graduated, man. That's just a trip.
Wow.
Yeah, she's on her phone nonstop too, and she's only 7. It's funny. It's like when I've got to get up to take her to school now. So when I was trying to like take her to school, she had my hand. I was trying to cross the street. Then she saw her friend. She threw my hand aside, yelled her friend's name, and ran across the street to school. And I said, "Dang, she's not even a teenager yet." I'm glad she has a sense of like, I don't know, independence or whatnot. But I'm like, I really wish I had more now at this point, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but that happens.
It does not
and you'll get
more kids. Strong and healthy.
Yeah, more kids.
For having babies, if you know what I mean.
Anyway,
I had the butt in the pants. You know what I mean? That fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it does not keep something, strong and healthy for having babies, if you know what I mean.
We were talking NFTs. I think I'd like more kids. What?
Yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
I think
We need to. I'm down for NFTing children.
so that
We,
people can bet.
if you
Especially
imagine this, okay, because I guess I've been around Asians enough. Okay, I've adopted
I
enough
feel like a
Asian parenting.
long-term
Okay,
investment.
I think
You know,
we
and
should
then
have
the
NFTs
payouts
at least on
based
Asian
age.
kids, so that
So like you have
people
like all
can
these
bet,
parents,
especially
all the
Asians,
NFT,
on
yeah,
which Asian
whoever
kid's going to
the
succeed the
A
most.
student, they get a payout. What do you
It
guys
could be
think?
like a
About that?
long-term investment, and then it could have payouts based on grades. So like you have like all these parents and they're all in this NFT thing, and whoever gets like the A student, they get the
Oh,
payout.
you know, okay.
What do you
So,
guys think? Would that be a great idea?
PlayStation 5, right? Okay.
I think you
You
gotta
know,
have a
kids
lot
are
of
like, I want
lot of
PlayStation
Asian
5, Dad.
people in
Like,
on that
you
one.
know, I can't afford it. But
Yeah.
why?
No,
Get in
it'd be
on
crazy.
My
this
Like,
wife is
okay,
Vietnamese, so I get it.
where it
oh,
goes
okay. So like
Yeah.
it's like a PlayStation 5, right?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
This project,
the kids are, I want PlayStation 5, Dad, and you're like, you know what, I can't afford it. But the kid says, if you get in on this Cardano NFT project, where it NFTs me and I get good grades and I beat all the kids, then this project will pay you the money to get me my PlayStation 5.
It's the irony of the game situation now,
Oh,
right? Is that it offers
it's already tough that
as the incentive to get good
now
grades,
on playing video
but they won't
games,
have
right?
time until
Like you can't even tell them not to do that.
to be able to play
Yeah,
that.
it's the irony of the game situation now, right? Is that you offer the video game system as a incentive to get good grades, but they won't have time until like university to be able to play that. It's evil. What a racket!
Yeah.
It's even now with the microtransactions and everything. It's even crazy. You buy the game, so you pay $70, you buy the game, and then you got to have the battle pass, because if you don't have the battle pass, you're not going to get the skins, you're not going to get the weapons you want, you're not going to get these things, and then on top of that, they're going to release multiple seasons. So you have to buy the fucking pass like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So all they
Download
like after like 10 seasons, they fucking made their game money back again. Yeah, and download characters and shit.
No, man, you're looking at it the wrong way. This was all based on data, the unsaid rule. Okay, the whole thing about the kid who bought the FIFA jersey, right, on FIFA, whatever EA, whatever version, that was a lie. That was planned. You see, if your kid is good enough, you will gladly give your credit card and say, "Son, charge $3,000." And get that jersey that you can't trade because it's not NFT'd.
Right.
But they can't.
Oh my god. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like a $30 commitment, man. But that's what I mean. You kind of ransom that. But then it's that weird irony, right? If you're spending $30 on entertainment investment, that kid better be playing that game more. But they can't because they have to maintain their grades to be worthy of that $30 a month purchase.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is like after a while, after you start playing these games and they're not NFT'd, you can't even like resell or do anything with it. It just gets deleted, and you're like, oh shit. Like you can't even resell anything that you had.
I'm stuck with my Ethereum purchases. I'm not happy about it. I've got game Ethereums I can't do anything with. Oh my gosh.
Man, everybody's kind of getting a little sluggish this morning. Usually everybody's already up in here. If you guys want to go ahead and retweet the space, we'll get a BS for a couple more minutes and then we'll get started.
Oh, did you make a flyer this month? I should have double checked if you made a flyer. Did you make a flyer this week? I mean,
I did. I sure did. Actually, I was so industrious that 2 weeks ago I created 2 weeks of flyers.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't even know where that came from. But I felt good and I just went with it.
Well, Powder, I hate to say it. It's because everyone's lost the energy.
But normally, like, we have 15 or 20 people in here already. But, man, it seems like everybody's sleepy this morning.
Well, Powder, I hate to say it. It's because everyone's lost the energy of CNFTs.
It is a possibility. We might have reached that point, but that's okay. Whether there's 2 or 3 people in here or there's 8, doesn't matter. We're gonna run the show.
So I was on stripper coin.
Okay, I don't know. Is there some type of celebration or something going on? What's happening back home, like back in the States?
Actually, I have no clue. I mean, it's the 25th. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, so I was on Stripper Coin and Slim was on there. There's like 3 or 4 states that have a blackout.
Like in that vicinity. You know
wow.
I don't know.
That,
That's
The
going on.
power supply was blown up with a train.
Yeah,
But I think it's
there's 3 or 4, and I think it's not related to the Ohio accident,
That's some president making.
but it's like in that vicinity. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the power supply was blown up with the train, but I think it's all related to the area. That's
wow. Yeah, I
That's
didn't even
some-
think about that.
That's some president making situations right there.
And you know what? Let me give props to D5 Fo Mofo, man. Freaking calling out all the homies, being like, "Where the fuck you at, bro?"
We got Drizzle's in. Drizzle's come in.
Finally, you old lazy bitch.
Oh, people are rolling in. Hit us with a
Oh
song.
my gosh, man.
Nah, it's all good. But anyways, it's 15 past the hour, so you know what time it is, man. We're gonna get to it. So you guys are
People are
gonna,
rolling in. Hit us with a song.
yeah, we about to get to it. So here we go. You guys ready? Let's get it.
You at least could have rapped that part.
That sounds weird. I apologize, everybody. Hang tight. There was something going on. That doesn't sound right.
You at least could have rapped that part that you just said.
I could have.
Now we've got
I could have, but for some reason it was playing out loud, which is not cool.
On and on.
Yo, it was pretty good. You should have just kept it on. Now we've got to pause. Should we put a disclaimer
Nah.
on? Oh god, it's rapped on and on.
That's supposed to be a rap right there. I feel like his rap is better than yours.
They hear the name, you know, and now they think they know me. You got it wrong, I'm just chilling with the homies.
I'm the Sephiroth of rap, yet NPC. One with an angel, a super villain enemy, a mystery epiphany, the bullet hole Kennedy, a lesson for your messes, yo, and death go make the NFT calm before the storm, but these waters are deep. Tidal wave, cycle change, till all laundry is clean. Kill with dominant beats, yeah, we bombing your beats, sound the alarm, we machine and partially beast. You won't catch me wasting time, motherfucker. You won't catch me waiting in line, motherfucker. You won't catch me tell a lie, motherfucker. But you'll catch me televised, motherfucker. Crime fighter, born on fire, yeah, we hard boil. Dragging lungs, building flames, call me Sartoid. Keep measuring the stupid looking farm boy. We got you sold from the rooftop.
God, yo, I keep it to yourself, so stop dealing with baloney. Now I'm only flexing and chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies. They hear the name, you know, and now they think they know me. You got it wrong, I'm just chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies.
Check it, look. I'm dodging them red and blue lights in an M3, drinking a 40 of OE. I'm lit off the sour dates, somehow I still got 20/20 vision. I'm chilling with my homies and I swear we on a mission. Hey, I dropped the 6 shit when I see a collision. I'm stacking up my profits. pop projects on my desktop, waiting to get blessed by this quarter rock. I'm built different, something like 3.0, knocking niggas out with my left right killing bubble. Me and you straight, so don't get sentimental. And off ice cold 0 degrees. You can find me on the stoop.
To yourself and stop dealing with the lonely. Now I'm only flexing and chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies. They hear the name, yo, and now they think they know me. You got it wrong, I'm just chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies.
Chillin' with the homies, I be chillin' with the homies. Need a couple shillings, nigga, give me what you owe me. Show me on C block, she was all up on me. Made a body shade, now she tryna get to know me. I don't wanna talk, just wanna chill. Yeah, spin the block, got it on one wheel. They cool, but they not that ill. They ain't like crime fighter, they ain't got that feel.
Keep it to yourself and stop dealing with the lonely. Now I'm only flexing and chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies. They hear the name, yo, and now they think they know me. You got it wrong, I'm just chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies. Chilling with the homies, chilling with the homies.
What up, fam? And welcome to another episode of Chillin' with the Homies. I am your host, Powdery Hot Fuzz, and I am joined by my dope ass producer, Mr. Title Freaking Pending. Also, we may have a treat. Miss Marita might stop by. It looks like she woke up early, so if she does, that'd be dope. So she's gonna go grab some coffee and come hang with your boys. So that's really exciting. But anyways, as you guys all know, here at Chillin' with the Homies, we're all about the Wagama vibe. So if you're not, that's cool. But if you stick around, we might be able to change your mind. This is not financial advice, so you need to do your own research. Here at Chillin' with the Homies, we bring you the projects for you to hear, but it's you that need to make your own decisions. This is for entertainment purposes only. So everybody do me a solid and retweet the space, and we're going to get to it. I want to say good morning to my homies, Scats Dow. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to have you guys, man. I was reading over your guys' application, and you guys actually sound pretty interesting, which is nice. It's refreshing.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, well, you don't know how many I read through, and I'm just like, man, we were just talking about it earlier. It's just kind of like, it's almost like those reruns of shows that you like. Like, damn, man, I've seen this shit before. But no, you guys definitely got something cool going on, and I can't wait for everybody to hear about it.
Right on, man.
But I also want to say good morning to Mr. Drizzle Joe Erden. He is a great dear friend of the show, and he just comes in and does his thing. And also Machinist down there, D5 Fo Mofo. I want to say what's up. Yoda always up in here, and JB Cool. Man, definitely appreciate you guys coming by, man. You guys are freaking dope. What's up, Driz? How you doing? How's Florida treating you this morning?
What's up, my brother? I'm just chilling out. It was a shitty night at work. I'm tired as hell. But you know, I'm always here for the chilling. So, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I had a really good day. I just got back not too long ago from a going away party. One of my homies, they're getting shipped off, and they have to leave a little bit early. So we went and cracked open a couple just to celebrate, you know, that the time that they were here and for the future that they're getting ready to embark on. It's kind of a unique thing that we get to do while we're in the military. And like you guys it's really early for you, but I'm already like 4 or 5 deep in my lemon sour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So you're
Well, see, it's
you're
weird
feeling
'cause you and I like share an evening now because it's nighttime for you, but I work overnight, so it's like nighttime for me too.
Yeah, that's facts. That's true. We have flipped the script and became two of the same peapod.
It is weird. We live on opposite sides of the world, but we're still in the same time zone
Yeah,
somehow.
man. That's definitely facts. And
It's funny because you used to live right up from me, like a couple hours.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I did live up in the FLA for a little bit until recently. As everybody knows, I moved to Japan and I'll be here for several years until my retirement from the military, and then I will start off on my new career, which I'm not really sure what that is. I'm thinking maybe PE teacher, but I haven't got to that point yet.
You could be a gynecologist.
All I know is I don't want to do medicine anymore. I'm tired of looking at wieners and buttholes.
Oh yeah,
There's
man.
good medicine out there. I'm just gonna. You could be a gynecologist. Why not? Does that not sound like a good idea?
No, that would be horrible. It'd be like taking your favorite thing and turning it into work.
It sounds good, like in theory, but I would no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it does.
I don't need to see the worst of what goes on down there
It doesn't
all the
come to you
time.
when it's in good condition. I'm just saying.
Right.
Oh man, my sister dated a gynecologist for a little bit. It did not. They did not go very far. It was like 2 days in. Poor guy. He made good money. He was a nice looking dude, but it's a hard sell, right?
It is.
How do you put that in your Tinder, right?
Yeah. It's like a snatch professional, I guess, is what you would put.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, imagine just seeing the worst of the worst all the time.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Nah,
And then that's what you see all the time.
right.
Yeah.
So, and you might be like nose deep, and then all of a sudden you have a flashback, like some PTSD shit, and then and then the mood's gone. You know what I mean? It's just over.
Yeah.
Nah, man,
That is fast.
occupational hazards, bro. I'm just telling you, they're rough.
I have in my head like a dramatic scene where I go in and say, "Look, ma'am, I don't care how ugly, beautiful, or attractive you are. I'm here to take care of your vagina because I love all vaginas equally."
That's right. Even if it has teeth, I'm down.
Yeah.
That's what
It's only so much any man can take,
It's funny.
I don't want to know it at its worst.
No. I mean, you take that vow when you get married.
Moving on.
For better or for worse. No matter, I guess, what area of the human body it is, I suppose. Anyways.
Moving on.
Yow. But anyways. Thank you for taking us down that road, Driz. Oh, that's dope.
Wait, I don't know. Did I start that? I don't know.
I don't know. I think Title might have actually led us into that one. But anyway.
Yeah,
I think there are other types of medicine out there, and that we probably should.
It is. But anyways.
Without Maria, I feel this is just the wrong type of conversation. She needs here to balance the female perspective. We don't have that.
Right.
So we should be a smart contract.
As soon as she gets her coffee, we should have her in here. But like you said, we're here to talk about Scats Dow. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about, what you guys got going on over there.
So my name's Eric. I founded the Smart Contract Audit Token. I wrote the white paper for it back in like April 2021 for the Fund 5 Catalyst proposal. And so it was a while back. And the basic principle when starting it up was having an independent and conflict-free source of research and evaluation and audit for Cardano or for blockchain in general. Without, was there a question?
Oh, sorry, that was probably
No
me.
worries. So without going into like too much background or backstory, one of the basic principles of audit is this idea of independence, right? That you should be independent of the people that you're auditing. Otherwise, it's hard to trust your results. And when you're studying it in school and when you're doing it in practice, they hammer that in all the time. You have to be independent. You can't let your boss take you out for lunch or your client take you out for lunch because, you know, that makes you seem like you're not independent, right? But at the end of the day, they're paying you millions of dollars to do this audit, and then you issue an audit report that they own. You're really not independent at the end of the day. You're auditing your boss, right? And there's countless situations where I'd be in the audit room and we would find something, we'd present it to the client, and then they would send in the CFO and he would scream at us for about 3 hours. And inevitably, we'd change our opinion on it. We'd say, actually, you're right. It's really not that big of a deal, right? And so at the end of the day, the way that the current system works, it's not independent. You're hired by somebody, that person is your employer. And if you want to continue being hired by them, you usually want them to be happy. And so it creates this conflict of interest, right? So it was a different way of approaching audit by having it so that the people that are benefiting from the audit work in general are the general community, right? So by looking at it like that, it's saying the community is the one that should be selecting the projects and funding them and running them and owning the results. And so like that's the basic principle behind wanting to start this and kind of what it's all about.
You know, and I think that's something that's actually pretty needed right now. There's a lot of projects that should be audited. Lots of them. And I think this is definitely a really good thing.
I
A really good thing.
appreciate it, man. Then we got Bronson on the line too. Do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Good morning. I am Bronson or Jed. I am the head of marketing at Scott Dow. One thing that Eric didn't touch on, maybe I missed the question, but it was the do your own research report. We have a tool, do your own research tool that helps newcomers and people that with plenty of experience to learn how to it takes them through steps on researching an interface project. And hold on one second, let me make sure my door's closed. Sorry, heard the kids
And
getting in trouble. So we have the do your own research tool, and you go through that. It'll take you steps on how to understand really the health and the progress of each crypto project. It's we're on Cardano, but you can use that on other chains as well. So you could, you know, it's agnostic. Um, we have an NFT report for report NFT projects, and there's one for regular tokens. What am I missing there? What am I?
I think you described it pretty well.
I've only had half a cup of coffee so far. That's
Hey, do you guys got like something you guys can maybe pin on the top that anyone who's interested in your project could check it out? I'm trying to find a good tweet to repin, but I can't find a good one. Do you guys have a good one?
About, but I guess that's subjective. About DYO, do your own research reports.
Yeah, anything about
Yeah. Something about the project you would check out. I'm asking the head of marketing on a half a cup of coffee.
There's gonna actually I'm gonna Eric and I were just talking about this and put a little bit more advertisement behind our do your own research tool, because there's a lot of great, I mean, it's really improved since last year. And I want to show people that with a lot of the marketing that we've done around that is just people actually using it and sharing the report. um so I'm gonna get more information and screenshots and stuff out there for people to see. So
Yeah, because I was looking through some of the past tweets and all I see is other people's projects, and I'm like, huh. I mean,
yep, yeah, I agree.
I just DM'd one to you, Powdery Hot Fuzz. I'm not sure how to pin something on here. But
No worries.
the example, it's we run contests. Like, a big part of the tool is not necessarily our team making reports and sharing it with other people. One of the big things that we try to do is encourage other people to use it. So one, it teaches people how to perform research, and two, it gets a wide range of opinions or views, right? And it's like goes back to that idea of centralization. If it's our team that's only doing reports and making them, then it's our team's opinion on everything, right? Which isn't great. Like, ideally, it gives everybody the ability to weigh in and share their thoughts on it. And sometimes we'll have two different people do a report on the exact same project, and it has drastically different results, right? So the one that I just changed or just shared with you is one from ADAX, where we hosted a competition to try to encourage as many people as possible to research ADAX and see what they come up with, because that one's been contentious for a while now.
In front of you, you can't really dispute the data.
Well, I've found that people still dispute pretty heavily sometimes, but yeah, agreed. Instead, I think especially when starting out, people will hear what their friends are talking about. They'll say, this is good, this is bad, and they just kind of jump into it, right? Whereas it takes, a few hours to go through all the steps of really digging in. And after doing that, then if you want to jump in, that's fine, but at least you have a good reason to do it now.
Right. I mean, if you still get caught up in the hype and everything, I mean, that's still one thing. But at least you have the numbers to tell you whether or not it's even something that you should consider. I mean, really, honestly, when I started NFTs and crypto about a year ago, man, that tool would have been freaking invaluable, because I jumped into a bunch of projects just based off of hype and stuff that I heard, and they are nowhere to be found nowadays. You know what I mean? They are gone.
Yeah.
So if I would have had
Abs-
more, I would have seen whether or not this project had legs, possibly, and then I
Uh,
could have made it. And if I, well, guess what? I'm the dumbass.
Well, the token version's been around since February of last year, and then we made the
Oh, wow.
NFT. Yeah, the NFT version came out. I don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe 6 months later than that, or 6 months after that.
Was it in January that you launched it?
The research tool.
Announcing our ISPO.
Yeah. Like, I thought you had a mint. Did you have a mint, or was that someone else's mint?
The both was around February of 2022.
Okay, so I'm seeing like we're announcing our ISPO will be ending the end of Epoch.
Oh yeah, so
Oh, just
our ISPO, yeah, that was July 4th until it ended about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
One thing I want to add in about the do your own research report that I think got missed was it's a really great on ramp or just a tool for people to learn that are new to crypto, because it teaches them things that you won't find out anywhere else, which is like tokenomics. Like, where are they going to, unless you get into crypto, where are you going to learn about that? So it's kind of for them too.
Yeah, that's a good point, because tokenomics can be extremely confusing.
Oh yeah.
Because when I first started doing my research on tokenomics, because that was the way NFTs were kind of rolling to, like I really had to reread and read before I really understood it. And even like when NFTC, when they created theirs, I was like, man, it's cool having all these like words and stuff, but I'm kind of dumb, like a Marine sometimes. Not that Marines are dumb; they just eat crayons every so often. I like you know what I mean? So pictures for me, and that helped me understand. But that, I mean, that took a lot for me to really kind of wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, it's something that I think can be confusing to a lot of people. Like recently, an example is with the whole Liquid launch. Like we put out a short thing on Liquid's tokenomics, and it's something that Liquid. It's not like they weren't transparent about it from the beginning. They had their emission schedule out, right? But nobody goes and looks at it. And if you look at it, you say, okay, well, there's about, I forget what it was, $500,000 worth of liquidity right now, and the amount of tokens that are about to be released every single epoch are like 10 times that amount, right? So
Wait, I
in
gotta
theory,
sell. Wait,
the
what'd you
amount
say?
that's
I have to
about to
sell
hit the
something. Was that
market
liquid
is 10
tokens?
times the current amount of liquidity. To most people, they would look at that and say the price is going to drop
Oh
dramatically in the
no, I'm
next,
checking the prices now.
coming
Oh,
weeks.
you guys should have come
And so
like
you
3
put out a
weeks
number
ago.
Wait, I
about
gotta sell.
You might
Wait,
have
what'd you
like
say?
done it
I have to
like
sell something. Was that liquid tokens?
You would have saved some money. Oh, that's really great.
this was a few weeks ago, so I think the time has passed. But
Oh no, I'm checking the prices now. Oh, you guys should have come like 3 weeks earlier. I might have like gone into that thing that you had and I would have saved some money. Ah, you guys are too late.
well, we put out the tweet on it, but again, it's like it's not something that Liquid was hiding or that it's not like they were trying to pull a fast one. It was open and transparent, but still, no one looks at it, no one reads about it, no one thinks about it. And so it is good to try to encourage people to do these kind of things.
I agree.
Yeah.
You definitely need
Yeah.
to. I want to say good
I
morning
think.
to Miss Maria before Driz goes on.
Oh, Maria,
Morning.
welcome.
As I'm chewing my breakfast and sipping coffee, and I'm so sorry that I didn't wake up sooner because I was actually looking forward to your guest today, and I've missed 40 minutes of it. So I'm a shitbag. I apologize.
I'm
Y'all
All we
actually
just have to
talked
pretty.
get
about
caught
is
up.
like gynecology as another thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did
it's
miss
true.
the
Yeah,
discussion.
we should
Wait,
leave
you
that
did?
discussion out.
Is that
It's
your
recorded,
Yeah.
so I can catch up. Is this when we all come to an agreement that Andrew's a pussy? Was that what we
Oh,
discussed?
well, we did now.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was the final verdict. But yeah, I'm
Is that
like
your medical opinion or your feminine opinion? I want
both,
to.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you made it. I missed you, and it's good to have you around.
Aw, I know. I miss you too. This is my second Saturday back to back, and then next
I
Saturday,
know.
and then after
I
that,
don't.
you gotta fuck off, because then I gotta do some
Uh,
other shit, you know.
I feel so
Love it,
not
Wayne.
important.
Well, listen, it's because I have competition, so I can't. I've got
I
back to
know.
back.
I'll
Yeah.
take the back burner. If I can have any, I guess it's the back one.
I like it. Bend over. But
Hey,
I'm gonna let the guests keep talking while I keep eating, and then my brain cells will fire up, and then I'll start to say like human adult words.
no worries. I think Riz is getting ready to say something. So go ahead, buddy.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
No, man, I love it. I actually am trying to reach out to a couple of people that have been looking at like using the blockchain to analyze. Like, there's one guy, Crypto Gaz. I think he said he's gonna hopefully join soon, but he started out like a year ago just using the blockchain to analyze wallets, and he made like visuals of what the actual holders of different projects were. It's really fucking cool, and I mean I think you guys are along the same lines, but it's just a different sort of analyst.
Is it Cerberus?
No, he was here, I could maybe share something from him. So what he would do is he would look at different projects, and he has some sort of formula that can make a visual of the wallet holders.
Oh my
So
God,
it would
it's
show
CNFT
like,
graph, and it's crypto gas.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
CNFT graph. Yeah, he makes an algorithm. So he's literally turning it into math. He's using math for art of everything that a project has. Yeah, it's pretty fucking dope.
Nice.
Yeah, which
Right.
doing it was actually pretty revolutionary. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, like that motherfucker is the smartest guy I've ever met, like in this realm,
Do any of you want
by
to
far.
compete with
How do you know he
us?
fucks mothers? You didn't know.
Okay.
Well, I
So-
mean, he might have fucked one mother. I mean,
Sorry.
So Scat Dow, all right, Bronson, do any of you want to compete with being the smartest motherfucker? Is that the Drizzle's challenge? Is I guess what's going on.
I mean, I've fucked a mother. She's not my mother.
Whoa,
Good job.
this is taking a turn.
What a relief.
Powder, what is happening to your space?
I don't know, bro.
This is insane.
Oh.
The milk's gone bad.
For
Trent,
real.
some of the hump day silliness has transferred over from Wednesday here. because we're not
Listen,
still
I'm
using
gonna
Hump
quote
logo.
you. I'm gonna quote you. The last 2 Wednesdays, you've been so mature, and you actually recognized that I was maturing. So I have to say that. Thank you. That was really kind and sweet of you.
You're welcome. I've been trying to be mature. I've been
Yeah,
trying
don't try too hard. It's painful. That shit sucks.
yeah,
It's not easy. Yeah.
yeah, no, it definitely does. But no,
So Liquid did
really,
drop. It's now 2028 ADA. Oh well, nothing lasts forever. So yikes.
yeah, but cryptographs did do something pretty crazy, and like George was saying, is it's a little bit different, but it'd be cool to marry those things up because I think it would really help people probably avoid some rugs, honestly.
Okay, so catch me up here. Okay, because remember, I've been a lazy bitch sleeping. Forgive me. Um, what the guests on this space, can they give me just a quick like cheat sheet of they do smart contract audits
Um,
and
yeah. So real quick to recap. What should I say? I hate to repeat the stuff I already had done. Essentially, yeah, there's this idea of when you're doing audits that you're supposed to be independent of the people that you're auditing, right? But if you're being paid by somebody to do an audit and issue an audit opinion, you're auditing your boss. You're no longer independent, right? So starting this project, it was trying to get around that whole problem. And if audits are meant to be for the people that are the general public, right, is the people that are benefiting from the audit, then those are the people that it makes sense should be controlling the audit and running it and paying for it and owning the results at the end. So that was the general thought process in it. And then when we were getting started, it was two different components. There was the smart contract portion, and then there was this like holistic analysis of the project overall, looking at its dev team and its community and its tokenomics and everything else there, right? And so then when we were going through and creating the program to do the holistic part, I was building it out and then realized this is something that we don't need to have a specialized auditor do. This is something that literally anybody can do. So we wrote it out so that there's work steps to perform and there's clear guidelines on how to find the information, and you input it into this tool and it generates a research report and a score that will tell someone about the research that you did on a project. And so that's kind of how the do your own research tool was formed, was by like splitting out that part of an entire audit.
I love it. And I'm actually going to send you a DM because I want to do some stuff with you.
That would be awesome.
I
I
love that.
figured
I love that the approach that you took is one. It does have the accounting principles in it, right? Where you are working for, you're looking into a project and you're looking at the data, which is something I'm a huge proponent for. I love the fact that you can distinguish the due diligence that you have to the community as a whole, which is the consumers, right? They're the customer base. And you do have a relationship with the project founders, but one where it's in a formal agreement. So it's not collusive. Okay. It's not like you're commingling assets or funds with them other than it's a paid service agreement that you have with them. And you have to have an incorruptible result. And the fact that you're doing that is fantastic, but you're also taking in, from what I'm understanding, metrics that are also things that don't have a numerical value, like the health of a community. And I'm assuming social media is also a proponent of that,
That's
or component, I should say.
that's exactly right. Do you have a background in this stuff, Maria? You picked that up extremely well.
Yeah,
no,
I do have. I have a few working brain cells. Surprisingly, I am a blonde, so it does surprise people. I get. I get
No,
that,
but
and it's
it's
okay.
not. Obviously, you're smart, but it sounds like you have an audit background as well.
Yeah, yeah. I do. I actually work in contracts, so I'm really familiar with that.
Awesome.
But I work with the government, and the government has like the worst hiring standards. So the motherfuckers I deal with, and I don't know if any of them have fucked a mother for clarification. Just want to throw that out there. Maybe they don't.
Can you
You know,
find
Big
that
but
out?
yeah,
but
key information.
but yeah, exactly,
Throw me
exactly.
under the bus again.
But you do have to scrutinize every aspect of a contract, and some of it is just garbage. Like actually, a lot of it is like filler stuff.
Mm.
But the accounting side of it is really important. And so is the way that you complete what you set out to do. And money is what drives everything. And I like that you have now an independent, you have these boys up here. Again, not assuming that your boys, God, I fucking hate living in California sometimes. I really do. Like everyone's a
No,
pussy.
they've got to you.
I know.
My pronoun is Shim, please. Thank you.
It is okay. Mine's a try me today. Okay.
Try me.
Yeah, I'm always he. So
Oh, okay, good.
He's more of
Dang. He's a
hey, fuck you, you
no,
motherfuckers.
no. Gosh darn it! I was gonna say something smart, and it got lost. What was I saying?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It'll come to me.
What
But
I
yes,
was
I love what you guys are doing. Oh, I like that they're taking a look at it from a comprehensive perspective instead of narrowing in and saying, okay, well here's your metrics of just one aspect, because that doesn't necessarily give you the full picture. And a lot of projects like to hire people to come and analyze one part of their project. It's like, oh, okay, well we saw this after shit's hit the fan, and then it's more for like corrective measures and PR, and then they still don't implement the recommendations that somebody's put in. And so I like this premise that your
Yeah,
guest
and just
has.
to kind of clue you into some of her CNFT background, she was the one who was getting a lot of the projects into NFTC for the partnership program. So they had a lot of, she was in charge of a lot of the scrutiny and a lot of the math and looking at a Canadian guy in his underwear
Oh
drawing
yeah,
crazy squiggles
from the
algorithms.
side. Yeah, yeah.
But I got a serious question though.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a DM right now.
What have you
That's
guys
awesome.
Is he still in his underwear?
found that have been interesting through like?
Yeah, that was the thing, right? That's how he does his math. Gotta do your algorithms. But I got a serious question though. So what have you got? What are some of the things that you have found that have been interesting through like these like contests and interacting with people that have been using your tool? Like, have you found anything like shocking or surprising that you guys can care to share, or is there something shocking, surprising where you can't say names because they're so shocking and surprising?
Shocking and surprising. I think over the last year or so that the tool's been out, I think we've identified a few different projects that have, in fact, rug pulled. I don't know if that's so shocking or surprising, but it's always interesting when we put one of these out and we say, here's a bunch of red flags that we've noticed. We think that you guys should pay attention to it and, act accordingly, do your own research as well. And then almost every time the team will come out and say, you guys are a bunch of fudders, or you guys are doing a hit piece, or you guys are unprofessional, or whatever it is, and then eventually they end up closing shop and going away. And so the ones that we put out where they do end up rugging, I'm pleased about that because it's good to put that information out there. I think one of the more recent ones that we did, sorry, going back to Liquid, it was this weird thing where the head of Liquid had said, hey, none of our team has ever sold tokens, and I dare anybody to go and check it out on the blockchain and confirm it. And so we went through and we checked it out on the blockchain and we confirmed it and we proved that the team was selling tokens. And so we wrote up a thread and we shared that. And that turned into this whole issue, but I'd say that was one of the more surprising or contentious things in recent history.
Well, I was a part of that cult. I was holding on. I'm still holding on to my liquid tokens because when they came out, the teams looked good. Not just from a marketing perspective, but the actual team itself had experience on blockchain. Like everything really looked good about that project. So yeah, I could see that. I could see there being a pushback about the FUD factor. But criticism should be there. I mean, the liquid project is still here, right? And it's unfortunate because where a project is successful or a project starts and where decisions and things have to be made and community members may not be 100% happy, it's not gonna, I feel, I don't know, this is a weird, this is maybe a more interesting question. What's the projects that you have seen that have been like 100% everything they said and did, no changes, no deviation from the plan, have been like perfect angels? Have you found any perfect angels? amongst like as the research that's come out?
I'd say that there's like a range. It goes from like bad to good, but I don't think that any project's perfect. I'll include our own in that. I think that everybody's human and everybody's trying. Most people that are operating in good faith are doing the best that they could, but there's always going to be room for improvement or things that people could do better. So it's like none off the top of my head. And just to clarify for Liquid, I actually like Liquid. I've been looking forward to that releasing for a very long time. So it's not to say anything bad about them or what they're doing. It was literally just one statement that the head of the project made that was objectifiably false. And so we went through and said, no, like looking at the on-chain data, this is what we're seeing. But overall, like not, I'm hoping they succeed. It's not rooting against them.
Yeah, but as a
like the
project founder, if you say some craziness like that, like I dare you to do this, someone's gonna call you out on your bullshit.
Oh,
You would think, but I have to say I agree. And I'm so sorry, I don't, I'm just going to call you smart contract. I agree 100% with what he said, because remember at Title, you're the producer on the space, and Petter, because you come on all the time. We had our hump or dump segment, and the whole premise of that was for us to be able to highlight some of these free tools that are available to people to go in and look at a project, right? You just go in, you've got these social media kind of bots that will tell you whether or not you're actually interacting with a human or a bot. If their followers are fake, did they pay for them? If their engagement ratings are actually true or manufactured, and it gives you an idea essentially of who it is that you're following, and how projects will generate a bunch of followers that are not real, and then they turn around and sell them to a brand new project that just came onto the scene, and they've got 5,000 followers. And then the same thing for the Discord, because people can transfer ownership of accounts, no problem. And with the Hump or Dump segment, we had a few projects where, I mean, they're dumps because they don't have an action command, which is what you want. And then when you go and you look at their marketing, the spelling is horrible. They lack a website. The Discord has no activity, and they're minting for 100. And they've got this tokenomics out there that's almost copy paste of the last 10 ones you've just read. And then you've got the humpers, which are intriguing enough to where, oh, I want to go and delve in further. And we had pushback from some people that were like, well, we just can't tell people who we are. Okay, but you're asking them for $500,000 with your 10,000 collection and 100 ADA of whatever it is that you're charging for shit that's not even worth that. And then they rug. They literally take off and they run. And I do get like one of those devious evil chuckles of like, I told you, this shit stinks. But it's sad that you have to come out and say, I'm not fudding you. I'm asking a question. And asking a question is not FUD. You don't want to assume that people are bad, just like you don't want to assume that what they're saying is 100% truthful. And we work on a trustless system, but it also doesn't excuse ignorance. And a lot of people are ignorant because they don't want to, they don't know enough about the founders themselves to go in and ask or look into them, because it's not like people are posting their resume. And so there needs to truly be some kind of a metric system of how we're determining what is a good, healthy project. And common sense helps a lot, especially if you're getting pushback where you raise a question and you point something out like an error, and you're doing it with the best intentions. You're not trying to screw a project owner over. You're not trying to fuck over the community. You're actually trying to help them. But it's amazing how people take that information quickly and go on the defense. And to me, that's a red flag.
yeah, that's really interesting, Maria. We actually like put out a series where we were doing research on project founders and writing like articles and sharing those. And we had the first one on Meld, and then we did one on Charlie Free. And I don't know if we're even going to do those anymore because there was a lot of really positive feedback, but then there was so much anger and hatred and vitriol over it that I would still maintain like anything that was in there, I believe was 100% accurate. But anytime that you share something that has a strong community behind it, people get really angry and upset. And again, even if it's factual, people just they really don't like it in this space, and so it can become a little bit demoralizing sometimes, to be honest.
Well, a fact can never be offensive. It's a fact. It's not an opinion. And so when you're bringing in things that exist, especially if you're quoting or you're pulling things straight out of their documentation or their website or their marketing, if it's words right out of how they describe their project on JPG Store, you're not fudding anybody. You're saying, what the fuck does this mean? And if a project doesn't have a website or is using, multiple different accounts, who's to say that they're not like alternate accounts that are coming in? And we've had that happen where it's all of a sudden you get this pushback from somebody all in simply asking a question, or not showing, I don't know, whatever the hell it is that they need. And you look a little, you just take a few more minutes and you look into where's this coming from. And if it narrows into that particular community, it's not too hard to determine whether or not it's the same. Is it a person or is this an alternate account? And a lot of times they're fake accounts. It's the same person masked as three other different people. But ultimately, honestly, I think we all have a moral obligation to everyone. One, to give them an opportunity to correct something, and two, to keep the other future marks that are out there unknowing coming in, buying somebody's bullshit that they're selling, especially if they have no intentions in correcting their behavior. But it's money, and people get pissed when you fuck with their wallets. And here you're actually trying to protect their assets and investments, which I hate calling anything, by the way. I'll never call somebody an investor in any type of project, because you're not. You're just a consumer. You're buying the stuff that they're selling. Transactions over the second you mint it. And they're under no obligation to do anything else from you, because that's the initial buy-in was, I have this NFT and you like it, you buy it, you're done. Anything else beyond that makes that a bonus, which is why when somebody scrutinizes a roadmap or a tokenomics and holds it to like the degree of it being like the Bible, where it's infallible, you're stupid. That should be a living document. Nobody knows what's going to happen on the blockchain tomorrow, let alone a few months from now. So all of those unknown, not even like you can't even predict. Some of them you can; those are potentially known, but the truly unknown things is what is the variable that needs to still be maintained. And people are just I think that the hostility and the aggression now is a lot greater because of the preponderance of rugs that have occurred. But a rug is a slow death. A scam is intentional. And again, the differentiation between the two is also misused. And yeah, people are pissed because they've been screwed over. And so they come back and they push back because they don't want to have to go through that again. And I think if they just allow a correction like the smart audit, and if they allow others to come in and say, hey, I know that you probably dumped a fuck ton of money into this, and it might not be a good project, but maybe it will be. Let's see. How about we put in some standards and just some like bare bones requirements of who it is that you're buying, who are you giving your money to? If you don't know who that is, then why are you giving them your money in the first place?
I look at it like, like you got this homie that's in this relationship, has been in a relationship for a long time, and they're really like head over heels, and you notice some bullshit, and you're like, yo, bro, this chick, or like even if she it's a girlfriend, and you're like, hey, like I saw this dude like grab that chick's ass, and maybe they're not so cool, or whatever. You're trying to tell them maybe this might not be the thing for you, and then they get just like just kind of like you're describing with these people getting upset at you point on the truth, just like your homie gets pissed at you, even though you've been friends for years. They're like, dude, you don't know. I love this person. They would never do that crap. Blah 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 blah. And then next thing you know, they've been rugged, relationship wise.
I just want to add something. I heard somebody ask about the T or if there's any perfect, like completely good players in this game. And I want to just point out one thing I noticed, and I've been talking about it for a long time, is there's groups of projects or developers or teams or whatever, and it seems like some of the ones that don't have great intentions are pretty well organized with each other. And if you like at Rare Bloom last year, it was really apparent is if you go meet some people in person and you meet the team and see what they're like with each other, you can it's really apparent um, the goodness that comes out of some people, and just where it seems like the ones that were associated in like a bad ring of projects, they're all in question, and the ones that aren't, I see Gabe's on here. Adow would be one of them. That just they're full of good people, and it's I've seen somebody say in invest. I don't like to. I agree with Maria here. Not investing, but support people. Let's go long on the people that are good people that you believe in, that will that you think are going to create the stuff that you want. By going long on them, you're going on the people, not the actual project. I just think it could end up better for a lot of people.
I
AJ,
agree with you
okay.
100%. 100%. Like Helen Keller could see who sucks, right? And then you go in, and I went to see it. Tifa and I didn't make it to Rare Bloom. So I'm actually kind of disappointed. I missed an opportunity to meet you next time. But
Yes.
I'm also surprised at how some people are still mistaken for men when you see them in person too, and you're like, wow. So you're this one who's behind this project, and you're 100% right again on saying that they're organized. They are, and that's because they're opportunists, and they know exactly how to
Business partner.
identify
I want to say
somebody's
business partner.
weakness. And there are people out there, and I say this to Andrew all the time. Andrew's my partner. I love him. He's very, very intelligent. I actually give him the highest compliment that he has this
Business
like
partner. I
weird,
want to
yeah,
say
yeah,
business partner.
yeah, yeah, it's business partner. He has this brilliant mind. He's this mathematical genius who thinks that, when you're like, hey, let's have some phone sex. Just kidding, we don't do that. Where at 10 o'clock at night he wants to talk about math, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go Google these words. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Use a crayon. Describe it for me. And here we are writing our own little algorithms, trying to figure out how do you come up with a formula that allows you to extrapolate blockchain data that is very particular, and it's available. You just need to know how to go out there and scrape it for that one particular project or token. Token tracking is really hard. But again, you start to notice a pattern. And when you have opportunistic individuals, it's amazing because you have projects and communities that they sort of infiltrate. But the commonality that I see, and the greatest one, is that they don't have a good reputation privately, because people don't say shit because they don't want to go against the popular um, opinion of likability. People feel the need to be liked, and there's this need to have all these friends, and you don't want to be the one that stands out. And to me, that is so stupid and juvenile. But given that the blockchain is so massive, and everyone kind of takes comfort in hiding behind a screen, it's also very, very toxic. And I call it the silent poison, because it is exactly the reason why we have this perpetuation of rugs, and they're these slow death rugs where you have projects that come out, they make mistakes, and then they create something else. They create diversions and distractions, and they have a multitude of unfinished projects and promises, and it starts to get irritating, and it actually infuriates me, because the same individuals that go from one place to another just latch onto somebody else, and they do it all over again. And they still have these communities, but they're not managing them. And instead, all they're doing is it's like a breeding ground of hostile, frustrated community members that are literally holding a bag of emptiness and worthless tokens. And then you, like yourself, your project comes out and wants to really help correct and establish some type of metric where you have a guideline of, hey, maybe consider this when you're looking into a project. The do your own research, so important. but it's pointless to tell somebody to do it if they don't know where to look, what to look for, and where they can go, and what exists that's free. Just for a quick, scan of what a project is and what they're doing. And the other thing is the advancement of bots. So you can have a project that looks healthy, just in glancing, how many they have, the total collection, what's the total volume, how many holders they have, what's their trade activity, what's their floor at. But that can also be manipulated. And so there are things to look in beyond that. And it doesn't mean that those numbers are going to be consistent, right? Because market fluctuation, especially here, it's highly volatile, crypto. But people don't take the secondary step to look a little bit further where all of the guts and the info lies. So I think that what you guys are doing is so vital.
That's a good point, Maria, because I know, I want to say it's been a little bit of time, but there was a project that I was in, and I kind of started getting that feeling like it's not going anywhere. So I really started looking at things and started asking questions and like really started getting like some answers that I didn't really want to hear because I bought into a token, asked them about the token, told them that I did some research for somebody else, and realized like, hey, this token has no value unless I actually sell it.
Oh,
Like
because
to
it's an
somebody
NFT
else.
and not a fungible token? Yeah, it has no value.
Right, exactly. So once I kind of figured that out, I actually like I sold everything. Once I kind of realized what the game was, I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of this, and I got completely out of it. Not that I had any hard feelings or anything, but I caught on to it. And then when I tried, like the person that actually asked me to kind of look at something for them, when I relayed the information to them, yeah, hey, your wallet looks cool, looks like you have a lot of diversity, but this, and this has zero value unless you actually sell it. And then they were like, I'm never going to sell this. And I was like, well, shit, man. I don't know what to tell you. I tried to help
Cool.
you,
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah,
What
those are
happened?
those are really good points, Maria. Like recently, there was that Teddy Swap NFT sale, right? And they were doing 10,000 NFTs at 358 each. And so one of the things that we try to do too is to put out articles or kind of educational information to say like, hey, if this is happening, this is maybe a good way to look at it or a good way to analyze it, right? So we went through and we did the math for what the coin would have to be worth for you to be able to get your money back by buying that NFT, or what the coin would have to be worth to make money or lose money or whatever. And it's fairly simple to go through and break out the numbers and do all that. I feel like not too many people were doing that because if you go through and you look at it, it would have to have a very high market cap for you to be able to make money off of those, right? And at a 350 ADA buy-in price, it's kind of risky. And so agree 100% that it's all stuff that people should be doing, but I think for one, maybe people don't have the tools to do it yet, and just haven't don't have the interest or whatever it is. But I do think that's changing a little bit too. Where a year or two ago it was just kind of jumping into everything, and now that it's more of a bear market, I think that people are a little bit more cautious about what they're doing or what they're willing to jump into.
Yeah, we've all got some experience now. We've all been rugged enough times. We're more cautious.
Honestly, I think in terms, okay, so obviously I have tits, I'm a she, I'm a female. So my perspective is going to be a little bit different from yours, only because I also bring in the background of having I'm living a life different, right? So from a female's perspective, I'm also going to notice certain behaviors that to me would be off-putting. Because if I'm in a friendship relationship, like you were talking about, Patty, there better be some ass grabbing. I don't care who you are. I will walk up and I will slap your ass if we're friends, male or female, right? You need to do that. You just got to,
verbally
and that's
or
it's like love
physically.
taps. Yeah, for sure. I'm okay with that level of harassment. I'm one of the first to probably offend and harass and offend, and I'm okay with that.
True.
But there's also a boundary line that needs to be acknowledged, and that's what constitutes a healthy relationship. And if you're a part of something where you feel like it goes against your own conscience, that your own moral conscience is being violated in some of the things that you're being asked to do. Now, again, you're here freely. This is by your own design. You went in, you parted with your money, you got their stuff, you joined this community, you made friends, and all of a sudden, the project starts to take a different direction than when you initially came in. Okay, see what happens. Maybe it's a developmental phase. You never know. Not founders don't always tell their community everything that's happening in the background, because in a market like this, and in any type of market for that matter, the need to have a competitive edge is always great. That does not excuse wrong, unethical, and immoral behavior, but some people definitely see that as a free pass. However, you have to protect what it is that you're building, because you don't want somebody to jack your shit. So they'll give you enough so you know that there's development. If after all of that happens and all you have is a list of promises and nothing's been delivered, what you do have is a community that has still stuck through that whole kind of wave of transformation. And the only thing that's been transforming is the money that's leaving your wallet and magically appearing in the founder's wallet, and nothing else has been delivered. And so it's hard for communities to also part, because it's no longer about the project itself. It's about the friendships that they've made, and then about the money that they've invested. And now they want to recover. I mean, at least get back what they put in. And that's kind of, I mean, I understand, right? Nobody wants to dish over money and then not make a profit, but you're not going to, even in the real world. But the other part that I wanted to talk about, the reason why I started off by saying that I'm a female, is that I also notice things that are an unhealthy relationship. And if it feels like I'm in an unhealthy relationship with the community or with the founders, my first train of thought goes to, well, fuck, I wouldn't be friends with this person, and I sure as hell wouldn't date them. Why am I here? What am I getting out of this? If I'm the one giving and they're taking, it's not symbiotic, so that's a problem, because it needs to go both ways. But if I'm getting added pressure and I'm feeling harassed, and if I'm feeling like my movements are being watched and stalked, dude, this is oppression. I'm now I have less freedoms to decide what I'm going to do with my time and my money. And if I have a founder that comes to me and says, how dare you? It's your fault our floor tanked. Is it? Is it really our fault? Because I don't remember signing up to run your project. If it was our fault, we'd have half the profits. We don't. And I don't appreciate a founder and project, and there are a lot. So this is not directed at any one project. Well, there is one that definitely has kind of taken the cake with the way that they mistreat their community. But when you see a founder that comes out and is blaming you, the community members, and then demanding of you to go delist and relist your assets at 3 times what the current floor is, I'm waiting for somebody to turn around and say, well, if we do that, are you going to fucking buy it? Because you're literally committing fraud here. You're not allowed to do that. It's market manipulation. It's illegal.
That's facts.
But it fucking happens. And I look at these people and I was like, how the fuck are you still here? When did you sign over your rights to think for yourself to some asshole who fails to remind his community he's getting royalties on every transaction? Of course he wants you to go and fucking sell at 3 times the price. He makes more money. Like, wake the fuck up. And that's another thing people don't look at, and they don't think, they're just not thinking, and it makes me frustrated. Where it's like, dudes, like, it's your money. If you want to give it away, I mean, I'll start a GoFundMe page, but Jesus Christ.
I've thought
I'm
about
sorry.
it.
I get passionate.
No, that's actually a really interesting point, Maria. And I was actually starting an article on that a while back about how in crypto we have communities, right? And I know I don't speak too much about NFTs because I don't follow it as closely, but for regular tokens and projects, a lot of those are seen as investments, right? And in the crypto space, we have this thing where it's not really an investment anymore because it becomes a community, and like it's simultaneously the greatest strength and the greatest weakness in most of these crypto projects, because once you form a community, they become your friends, they become, people that you care about, and you're no longer looking at something as an investment or objectively, because it's now your friends. They're the people that you like. If someone buys Microsoft or Apple or a traditional investment project or product, they don't care about a community that goes along with it for the most part, right? And so it's interesting, Cardano, or in crypto, it's a real source of strength. Like having a strong community that cares about what you're doing, it's crucial. A lot of times to what we're building, it's super important. It also can warp people's perceptions and make them behave a little bit differently than they might have otherwise.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hey, Hood, you got your hand up, man. What's up, bro?
First of all, y'all can hear me?
Morning, Hood.
Yeah.
Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Ottery. Hey, title. Great conversation. I just wanted to add. Well, actually, not even add, but I think I have a way. I have an idea that I have a way to actually hit projects that rug pull, even if they're like they build up a community, and the community sends over assets. I'm just doing a little bit more research to see how it's going to be done. But I think there's a way where we can kind of give back to the community in a fashion where if it does get rug pulled, the community has the option, or a few members of the community has the option to actually pull back those assets. So I'm just doing some research. This is why I'm like excited that I'm listening to I guess it's is it scat DAL? Is that like how you say it? Or, yeah. So like you guys you guys are very interesting. So I don't know. I just wanted to say some 2 cents, but I might DM you. I wanted to talk to Maria and Andrew about it first, to kind of bring it to their attention, because I know they've been passionate about this for a minute when it comes to projects just taking advantage of their community, and then sometimes community members. No, so there's a difference. There's a community, and then there's a cult community. Okay, I dealt with this during when I was in ETH, and nothing against all ETH people, because I still am involved with a couple ETH projects, but I realize when the things start being revealed, the community makes excuses for the actions that the projects, the people, the devs of the projects have executed. And to me, that's a cult mentality, because you're not using common sense. You know, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but there are a difference between the actual community and a cult community. And so I just wanted to throw that out there, because bro, if you're a smart person, okay, yes, an investment is a risk every time, right? An investment, it's a risk, but come on, man. I mean,
Well,
if
it's
I'm
almost like
just being.
Stockholm syndrome, honestly, because you want to believe in it.
Yeah, so that's the problem. So the problem is like, all right, you can believe in something, right? But you also gotta believe. You gotta look at it both ways too. Like, be open to things can have, like, nothing's perfect. So you gotta be open
Yeah.
to the mistakes, right? So you gotta understand that things will have a mistake, or things can come up, because we're dealing with technology. Technology, like I said, I'm in IT, so I already know what time it is. Like, problems come where you have to mitigate and do what you need to do, right? It just pops up. But there's a difference
Mhm.
in that where it's being communicated, um, and you're just being transparent. But it's different when the trail shows your action, because like regardless, the blockchain doesn't, once it's stamped, it's stamped. So you can
Yeah.
say all the excuses, but see, a lot of people don't know how to investigate that, and I think that's what needs to be, um, I guess, expressed more, is like how to do your own research. You know what I mean? To basically understand these things. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize, but
No, you're
that's what I'm
good.
just saying.
Well, I think the thing about it is when it comes down to your money, you need to be a little bit more objective, not so subjective. And that's where a lot of the people in the space get caught up in. They fall in love with these projects and they want to believe in it so much. Like I was saying, just like Stockholm syndrome, you don't want to believe that the bad shit's true. Now it's become something normal and you're going to defend it with your life because you want people to stay in it because you've put so much in it. And if everybody starts bailing, guess what? You've lost out. So people get a little bit of gnarly about that. But if they would be a little bit more objective about it, it'd be like, you know what, you're right. I should probably get out of this. But instead, they go that subjective route, and that's where they get screwed over.
I gotta say that I love how everyone now is, when I first came on and started coming onto your space powder, it's almost a year, like 3 months shy. No, I don't know, like 3 months shy of it being our 1 year anniversary. The crypto space, I know, yay! The space was so different, right? Because yeah, we were in a bull market, and then the bears started to creep in, but nobody was talking about how do they find irrefutable, incorruptible data.
Right.
And nobody was thinking about blockchain. Nobody was, I mean, they were, as far as like, how much money am I going to make? But nobody was actually looking at the a value that historical data has, because all of a sudden you had a fuck ton of projects show up overnight and they were all gonna they're all innovative and it's never seen before. And then it's like, yeah, never gonna be seen again either right after mint date. And now we have the cause and effect of that. And coming
Right.
onto spaces and then having, now what we have is a whole bunch of data. And I know that this isn't about NFT creative, but I gotta say, I do talk to Hood, and Hood is one of the kindest, sweetest men. And I love that he's a Christian rapper who comes out and he hits home every single time with his music, because he's doing it without the use of profanity. I'm so sorry, I've got a potty mouth. Hood, don't hate me. But we've talked about it, and Andrew and I obviously do have a passion for wanting to help projects that have been rug, and we have a difference of opinions here. Andrew, who I love, I, you know how much I love Andrew and how much I respect I have for him. But Andrew has this messiah complex where he wants to save everybody, and it's impossible to do that. And it's also not our responsibility. It's nobody's responsibility. One, we're not the Red Cross. I'm not a charity. I cannot. I'm not Batman or Spider Man or whatever comic hero it was that was rich and just dished out money. That's exactly right. I like that. Oh, I like
Oh,
that
you're not a
too.
socialist? I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah. No. I'm a feudalist, actually. Look it up, title. However, you have these people that now want to do these incredible things to give projects or community members an opportunity to save a project, and that is only possible if the project is dying. If it's a scam, it's never going to happen. And in a rug is a death, and sometimes it's a fusion of, and people that intended to dip out right after mint, and then kind of got sloppy, and now they're stuck, and now they don't know how to get out. And there's ego that's involved, and I love how you said Stockholm syndrome. But so I had the opinion of, we can give people an opportunity to help them out, but I can't become a stepmother to all these projects that failed, because that's a heavy debt and a burden. And then there's this responsibility that you kind of indirectly take, where you now have to be a hero. And I don't have a hero complex or need to be anybody's hero. What I want to do is I want to inspire people to also take pride in the choices that they've made, even if it's led to a bad decision, it's still information you didn't have up until now. So use that, change your perspective, and then become a better, well, investor or participant in the whole crypto space. But as a whole, for the Cardano blockchain is where my focus is on. And so when we started with NFT Creative, actually Andrew had it, and I was like, oh my God, I think I know what to do with this. When we started bringing in projects and offering the token, it became a perfect opportunity to come up with market research. And it was, here's our token, you give this to your community, and in exchange, we're going to give you free money. And we're going to just gather data to see how everybody responds, what they do with it. Is it helping a project? How have people used it to create new use cases for this? Which projects actually took that as a kickstart or a kick in the ass to now start redeveloping? Which ones actually saw this as like a fuck yeah, and they started collaborating? And which ones were like, free money, sweet. I'm going to continue to go fuck over my community and go find a new sucker to latch onto. And the data was so valuable that it then became it gave us a greater understanding of, well, how do we take the token that we have that are now going across, I think, 80 something policy IDs? And how do we make this a formula that is just based in math? So it is not at all personal. We are strictly using data from the blockchain, and it will determine a project's health and a project's claimable tokens based on where they rate. And that's something that we don't determine. The projects themselves determine. The value in that is determined and community driven. You're the public. The public controls the price of the market. Anybody who goes out there and intentionally tries to manipulate that, the market manipulators are the best way to prove a theory in math, by the way. Thank you, MIT, and all your nerd articles. Appreciate you. That was my full takeaway of like 3 months of reading math theories and research papers. If you want to know what is a great determinant for math, look at the ones that are actually manipulating the market. They will prove your theory every single time. But so it gave us a script. And so now we have our token that's being distributed blockchain, but based strictly on a mathematical formula that's right into the script. We don't control it. And then you have obviously, additional values or additional actions that projects and communities can do for the reciprocal that will then be a multiplier. And Andrew and I have taken a lot of time, and I said to him, honestly, I think one thing that would help the community, the Cardano community, is to have a new movement. The parabolic movement now needs to be focused on establishing guidelines for what actually constitutes a healthy project. So if there's an imbalance of, collection count to wallet holders to activity, well, then go out and go inject and re-engage with the community and the Cardano communities to grow your own community. Get your project back out there. Start developing, or redefine what your project is there for, or give it to the community if it's all ego based. Let the community members take over and create a new path or direction for the project.
I
And
will
I'm hoping that it
be
catches on.
baby. I will
Keep
wash
singing it.
away your pain.
Can you sing?
I just wanted
Can
to.
you sing Taylor Swift next, please?
Oh, no.
But can you sing Taylor Swift?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Wait, what? Sing Taylor. Oh, I mean,
Can you sing some
I don't.
Taylor Swift for us?
If it wasn't recorded, I would. But bro, you're not catching me on candid camera.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
Hey,
um,
get
I
him.
know you can do it.
I just wanted to add. So yes, right. I agree. There needs to be a standard because if I don't know if y'all paying attention. So the SEC, right, is cracking down on so much right now, and if there is a certain standard that is put in place, and on top of that, the knowledge of, you know, I guess certain signs of projects that are potential, rug pullers, that in itself would give us some preventative maintenance for the community. So I do advocate for a certain standard that we should just all utilize as a community, because I'm just tired of, for one, I'm tired of these people taking advantage of the community. I'm tired of losing money. Okay. And I'm tired of just, like hearing stories about, people basically losing a whole lot and being in certain situations where they were basically trusting in this project and they gave zero F's. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's why I really appreciate the people that I'm involved with, like NFTC and my group Para, and just a couple other projects, because they're all transparent and they all want the community to actually, make a difference. And it's not about the Bojangle Spangle, okay? It's about, hey man, let's do this as a community. Let's support each other, and let's make each other better. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how, it shouldn't be the Wild Wild West. It should be a bunch of nations, individual nations coming together for a whole to help out each other. And that's how it should be set up for the crypto space. And that's just my 2 cents. And I'm about to go and work out because your boy is losing weight.
Get it?
Yeah,
I
get
love
it.
it.
But I
So
want
Good job.
smart contract talk, and then we'll get Shags on here.
yeah, so those are all some great comments. That's kind of one of the things that we were trying to do with the research tool. Like for the NFT version, for instance, we have like 30 different research points on there that we believe are important, or kind of best practices that you could say. And then it kind of evolves over time. So it's what we initially put out there, but then we have our Discord where people will say, "Hey, for point number 27, I disagree. I actually don't think that matters," or "Hey, you should include this one on there." So the goal of it is to kind of evolve and grow over time based on what everybody thinks is important, so that after a while and everybody's been able to put in their input there, it's kind of reflecting what the entire community thinks matters, and not just the research points, but the way that we score it, the way that we go about finding the information. Like all of that is open to change based on what people think and what people give feedback for. So hopefully that can be something that kind of helps with standard setting and getting everybody on the same page.
I love that you actually ask your community and consider what the community says. Because honestly, if you want to know what to do, they're the best to identify the problem and the needs, right? Because it's
Yeah.
the needs and the problem of the community that you're looking to solve. So go to the source. I love that. Good job.
Exactly. We don't want it to be our team telling you what to think at all times. It's supposed to reflect what we all think.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I got to say this only because Powder, you weren't there on Wednesday, and having Hood up here, and I know Hood's going to go in there and he's going full beast mode. I'm a huge gym rat myself, so good job. I'm proud of you, Hood. But you missed Wednesday space, and so on Wednesday, Hood did the music, for James over at the War Dogs. And I myself have never served in the military, but I fucking love anybody who's selfless, thinks of others, whether you're in the military or you're in law enforcement, you're a first responder, you're
I'm selfish
in.
now.
Hell yeah, you are good, but I love you, and I am so grateful for your service and everything that you've done for the freedoms of others. Because not everybody has the ability to fight oppression. So even though it wasn't fought here on our soil, I greatly appreciate everybody who goes out and helps the countries that need help.
Not to
But
lessen it, but I teabagged the people that I shot down.
fuck
Just
yeah, you
because
did.
I did that
Right.
in video games, so I figured I'd do it in real life.
Did they give you the rusty trombone?
They did.
Because you gotta be careful. Some of but
This is
but
not combat advice. Okay, I just want
no,
to.
Not at all.
no, but I'll wrestle. So I had leading up to Wednesday space. I greeted with a bunch of DMs from a lot of people of a announcement that was made, in another project's Discord. I think it was in their Discord. I don't know which Discord because again, we have it's a similar individual in a lot of different Discords, and straight out just made fun of war dogs and what they're doing, almost as if like, that bullying mentality for me is the trashiest behavior anybody could display, especially given the fact that this is a veteran owned business. They are on ETH. They came over to Cardano. They've been here for 3 months. And to have somebody who has a shitty reputation as an individual, a self-professed and self-proclaimed, great reputation, none of it which is based in facts, by the way. Again, the internet's amazing. The World Wide Web exists. Just go and look up a person. However, James they just minted, and they're new here to Cardano, and I thought to myself, well, that's not fucking inclusive. And then the brain goes to, dude, these are combat veterans that are and have built a foundation. They're building a cold storage wallet. They're not doing it with community money. They're doing it with their own funds. They've been doing it on one blockchain. They've now come over here with a collection, and they've been nothing but kind. They've helped the lives of veterans by employing them, and they've had to bury a few because, I mean, Powder, you see it every day. You're a doc. You're in Japan working as a doctor. You were here in the States as a doctor, and you yourself are a combat veteran. Have done multiple tours. So if anybody knows exactly what it's like when you come back from war, you're a different fractured person. Not the same at all. And a lot of these boys that go over, and I say boys because they're 18, 19 years old when you enlist, and then boom, bitch, here you go. Welcome to Afghanistan. Welcome to Iraq. Welcome to some fuck ton, shithole place where you're going to be for the next few, months or a year. Good luck. See you at the end if you make it. And so you're skewed and you're robbed of your crucial use. Like when everyone else is getting shit faced, yeah, you are right. Yeah, it's taken from you. And then you come back and you're trying to now acclimate back into a world and a society that it's so foreign. Like you're just looking at these people and you're like, wow, these people don't know how to solve a fucking problem. They can't identify where there's work that needs to be done. They're just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, and it makes you frustrated because you've been trained to act, and your patience is really limited because you're dealing with fucking idiots, man babies. And so to have James and his founders attacked and diminished and mocked and ridiculed really fucking pissed me off because, one, who the fuck bullies veterans, first of all? Who the fuck bullies somebody who has a service related disability? Okay, like that right there was enough for me to be like, is everyone else seeing this shit right now? Like, you realize that there's an asshole over here making fun of somebody who has done nothing wrong except for employ 5 veterans, built a foundation and a retreat to embetter the lives of veterans so they can go and heal with their families, their spouses and their children, so that they can figure out how they're going to move forward. And then you have the same retreat that exists for families that are now having to adapt to losing a family member to suicide. And I was so hot on Wednesday, you have no idea. Like, it really, not even, I wasn't even pissed. You know what I was? I was fucking sad, and I was embarrassed, and I was disappointed that there are such sleazy, slimy, shitty people that will utilize their own community to mock and ridicule an individual who's actually doing good and has done good and is continuing to do good, all because they're not as popular compared to them. And I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then James came on, and I love him. Oh my God, I love him. I'd go to war with him. I wouldn't even ask where we were going, but like, yes, let's go. But
I
it
probably
really
have been.
sucked. Yeah. Yeah, but you missed that. And then not even 24 hours later, the same person comes out and they're making fun of the fucking Ape and Riot community. And that pisses me off because that community is based on it's got 6 founders who had a shitty fucking founder who totally dipped out on them, took all the money. I was like, fuck you, bitches, I'm out. And so they've done nothing but put their heart and soul into keeping their community. And they did it on their own. They all decided we love this, we love the friendships that we've made, and we want to continue to grow. And then they get shit on. So I'm wondering who's on the next who's next on the list because somebody's feelings got hurt, their butt hurt, that nobody likes them because you're not a good person. And everyone's starting to see through the bullshit that you can't fucking lie and steal and then expect others to sit there and what, kiss your ass indefinitely? Like, fuck off. Sorry, that's a rant.
That was
Yeah,
quite the
you
rant.
missed it.
But not
Yeah.
wrong.
Well, I didn't know that. I would like to inquire more about that later on. So,
I see Shaggy's
yeah, that's kind of messed up. So, but I'm about to step out. I appreciate y'all,
Love you,
and
Hood.
y'all be easy, all right?
And then the other thing too
Yeah,
I
facts,
got
man.
some weeks too.
You too.
I see Shaggy's hand, but I do want to like jump on a little bit on what Maria said. There's some projects I just give money to, right? When I got into War Dogs, there's like I did not see that as a profitable venture. I just like what they were doing, right? And then the other thing too on Powdery's point too about like holding stuff. Like Nate gave me an NFT for the NFT Devils. I am gonna stake it, but I have no like any there's I'm never gonna sell it. So it's like I guess someone like me, and I don't know how many people are like me. If someone gives me something and it's like to keep like a value of a project or something, even the cute dumb orcs I got a sword. I'm never gonna sell that because you know what I mean. One, it's a gift, and then two, it's like well that also then helps. I can just give back by simply holding things. You know what I mean? So I mean, so there's sometimes I just get into projects just to support the people, and that's it. I don't see that there's going to be any financial reward at all. I get surprised when there's one though. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there. Shay, you got your hand up?
Yes, sir. I just want to touch on two things. One, real quickly, I just gave Scott Dow a follow. Man, I really did not know something like that was out here, so I really appreciate that. And then I want to touch on something Maria said. Maria, I absolutely agree. A lot of people hold too fucking long. A lot of people like they just don't know when to get out of a project. But I think the big thing with that is people will develop loyalty and they'll mix it with that WAGMI, right? So then like they'll have these relationships that they, for whatever reason, don't feel like can transcend outside of that project. I don't get that. I really don't. Hey, if someone's your friend, they're gonna be your friend whether you hold that damn NFT or not. You know. And then, like I said, it's that WAGMI. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, and just coming new into the space with a bunch of other new people into the space, I see it all the time. People will be like, hey, bro, this project's going to get... I got to tell my homies, I'll be like, what do you know about them? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you really know about this project? And then lastly, Maria, I absolutely agree that projects that are, you know, if you're kind of dying or you're in a tough spot as a project, I'm dealing with some music projects right now that are doing this. They're competing. They don't know it yet, I don't think, necessarily, but they're competing for the same thing when both of their roadmaps have different shit in them. You know what I'm saying? Why make that the sticking point? Go focus on the other shit in your roadmap, right? Find something else you're really doing good at. Do that shit, you know, provide some added value. Don't compete. Our space is too small to be competing and divesting resources from these projects. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I stand about things. You know, and I hope to be able to potentially guide and encourage whoever. I mean, we all need good distribution routes, especially as artists. But you know, music space is not that big here. We can't be divesting resources. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I really agree with that. And yeah, go fucking War Dogs. Go War Dogs.
Yeah. Way to go, Shaggy. We always appreciate your comment.
Yeah, but I was like, and I don't have anything to do with War Dogs. Like, I'm not a founder. I love James. I love what he's doing. That community is using our token, and he's got a fucking dedicated bunch of, as James would say, good cunts. That's Australian. I'm learning a new language. Um, but he's got people that, like even Title said, right? They're holding because one, it's not just in. Some of them are gifts, right? Some of us are lucky to get a gift. And then you have people that hold on to it because of who gave it to you, what it represents. It has sentimental value. And if it is worth something in the future, it's a bonus. But it's what it's doing, right? And to have somebody come out and then be made fun of because you have a good, strong community that's holding on to this stuff instead of burning it up on secondary, the same individual is also sitting there yelling at his community to delist and relist at 3 times the amount. It to me, it's almost like you're dumb, right? You hear yourself, or is this a rare occasion where your brain just fucked off, or what's going on here? I'm kind of just trying to figure it out. But it's counterintuitive, and the amount of just the hate. It's like we're all here for the same reason, same purpose, just like Shaggy said. Just be a fucking decent human being. If you're not capable of that, why the fuck do you think that your opinion matters? Like, I'd never go to this individual to ask them for their opinion or advice. So I'm definitely not going to consider the shit they say outside. But if they're going to continue to just be yucky, I want nothing to do with them. And I want to do everything I can to learn from what they're doing and how they're doing it so that one, I don't ever do that. And two, I can identify it in others so that I can use that as an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? That's like not nice. So maybe don't do that. Because some people truly, they don't mean it's not intentional. They're just ignorant. And although ignorance is not an excuse above the law, as far as the law is concerned, like you want to run a business, these are the rules you got to follow. If you forgot to read the rule set, that's on you. You're still obligated to abide by them. And some people just don't have social etiquette and they don't understand how to use social media correctly. So it's important to be a good person in offering them like a heads up, like, hey, you came off like a total twat. So maybe like go back and clean that shit up because that's kind of aggressive. And if they're, I said, I know, I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, but it's like if you really are there to help a friend out or a homie out, like you said. I mean, just tell them. And if they get pissed, then they get pissed. That's not your fault. You're not responsible for somebody's feelings. You're responsible for your own, and that's it.
Mhm.
And you're also not responsible for the shit that somebody else has done. It's not your trash to pick up. It's their mess to clean up. So you just kind of give it and leave it. Whoever manufactured it and created it, it's on them. And then the after effect and the aftermath of that, that's when the community can come together. As long as the trash has been taken out. Until then, I'm busy. I got to take my goldfish for swimming lessons. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, just kind of like just some house cleaning things real quick. And there's some people requesting to talk. If you'd like to be on the show, you're more than welcome to fill out a Google Doc. No. You're good. You're good. It's not that you need to be kicked. It's people asking that I don't know who they are. If you're a friend of the show, you get brought up. If you've ever been on the show, you can come up. I'll give you the mic. But if you've never been on the show and you would like to be on the show, hit me up with a DM. I'll shoot you the Google Docs. You can fill out the application, and you can get on the show. Gabe Carr Harris did. He was requesting earlier. I shot him a DM really quick. He just wanted to say that he had some real life experiences with Scat DAO, and that they're a great and underrated and undervalued project that people should definitely check into. And I think they're dope. I think they got some good tools, and I think they can prevent a lot of the problems that a lot of people are having if they're utilized correctly. Are there any comments and stuff that you guys would like to add to what's been being said?
I love Gabe, man. I really appreciate the support. I see Lord on here too. Appreciate him connecting us so that we could get together. I think me and Bronson.
Lord.
What was that?
Oh no, I always say Lord in a weird way. I would like Lord. We try to pray to him.
He always gets rugged, so it's a miracle when we can hear him at this time. So,
but yeah, I think me and Bronson have to hop off pretty soon. So if anyone had any last minute questions, please let us know. Happy to answer them. And if not, the DMs are always open. So if anyone wanted to participate in anything that we're doing, or have any questions, or collaborate, or whatever, please shoot a DM, and we're always happy to do that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some people that want to collaborate with you, for sure. That's another beautiful thing about having Maria on. She can take the collaborations that I want to do with you guys, and she can she can utilize it way better than I could. So that I'm really stoked about that part. But yeah, if there's anybody that would like to ask him a question, you can either hit me in the DMs or you can come up and talk yourself.
wow.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was
Well,
good.
since they gotta get going, do you want to ask him the big final question, or are we changing format?
Nah, so I guess since it's about that time, you know, Scat Dow, why you?
Why us for? How do you mean?
Why why you? Why should we like come and check you guys out and maybe be a part of your community?
Sure. So when filling out the form, I think normally YU is like why buy your project, right? As I was saying, I don't think anybody should buy it. I think if they want to earn tokens, they can do it by participating. You can create a DYOR report. We have different contests going on. So the best way to do that is to participate in what we're doing. As I've said, I think that having a community approach where it's a unbiased source of information, and again, it's a DAO as well. So it's not just stuff that we're trying to do that our team is telling people what to think or what's good or what's bad. It's giving the community tools and resources to make their own assessments and their own opinions, and then everybody shares those. Then we discuss that, and then we have a general consensus of what everybody thinks, right? We have a new platform that we've been working on for a while that we're going to be rolling out shortly. That I'll shoot you a DM and show it, but it's kind of a way beyond Discord to coordinate the kind of stuff that we're doing and what we're working on, and kind of take it to the next level. So if you care about research and you care about safety and trying to avoid rug pulls and things like that in the Cardano community, then that's why you should give us a look and kind of participate in things that we have going on.
Hell yeah. Well said. Well said. Definitely give him a check out. Follow
I
him.
got one recommendation for you before you go, Scat.
Get it.
So look, there's a guy I really think you should follow and connect with. His name is Dunamis. He's working on a lot of governance stuff behind the scenes, especially for like the music and the art side. So I would love to see you two connect. I'm gonna send him your info, and I will do the same for you. He has really helped out our music industry out here a lot on Cardano, and now he's getting into the nitty gritty of the governance side. So I definitely think you two should connect. He's building a good little group there, a lot of founders, people who care about the voting and the governance. So yeah, if that's all right with you, I'll shoot his info over to you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, please shoot that over. And yeah,
I'm so glad I'm so glad you guys were on the space today. I really was looking forward to the show. Otherwise, I would be sleeping in a little bit before I myself get my ass to the gym. I sent you a DM. I cannot wait to talk to you later because I love what you guys are doing, and I love the risk assessment that you're putting out because it's exactly what we're doing. But if you can save my brain from doing further math, I'd love you even more. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking to you.
Appreciate that, Marie. You've had some great comments, so yeah, really appreciate that. And Powder, thanks for having us on the show, man. It's been a lot of fun.
And the wonderful Malt Lord, who's not.
And doing a little of my producer stuff here. Please come down on Wednesday, the Hump Day Space, where you can chat it up with Maria and maybe get some more people on board to your project, because the Wednesday Space is a fantastic place with Maria and the wonderful Malt Lord, who's not with us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We always got people that are down to join.
It's been a blast having you on, man, and thanks for dropping the knowledge on us. It's been really enlightening, and like I said, like at the beginning of the show, it's been really refreshing. I really hope you enjoyed your time here. We like to try to kick back and have a good time, and also get into some real stuff, but keep it light at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely, it's been a good time.
Yeah, I had fun.
Cool, man.
Are those real, dude?
Well, we'll see you guys on the flip side.
All right, take care, everyone.
Oh my god.
I need them to leave so I can then talk about Bronson's PFP or Bronson's pictures because holy shit, is that delicious?
You talk about.
Oh yeah, are those real, dude?
Yeah,
Like, really you?
Thank
what
you.
does it feel like to run the
Oh my
hands across those muscles? Yeah.
The buffest
What's
person in
going on?
crypto.
Holy shit. I like
Wow.
it. Yeah. Never change your picture ever. It is definitely there for my viewing pleasure.
All right. Well, you're welcome.
He was like,
What the-
guys.
He's like, I'm getting sexually harassed. You are. Yeah,
Right.
it's happening.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm old now, so now it's nice.
Oh, I'm old too. It's all right. I mean, when somebody looks nice, you gotta tell them like,
Well, I did stick around a couple more minutes for that, so thank you.
damn. You knew it. You can sense it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, boys. Thank
Bye.
you.
All right, fellas. Well, you guys heard it, man. It's definitely, man, that's a tool that is definitely really needed in the freaking the NFT space. Something to check out projects and actually really try to get some data before you dive in head first or get stuck with the Stockholm syndrome. So I'm definitely,
I love that.
yeah,
I love that you
man.
say it's not because it's so true, right? Because you've
Yeah,
got the victim who falls in love with the aggressor. And
yeah,
it
100%.
is like the definition of, well, yeah, like an unhealthy, toxic. Like you don't want that, but it happens all the time, right? It happens way too often.
Yep, and it goes hand in hand with the self-governance. Like y'all said, if we don't self-govern, we don't take care of these rugs, call out these bad actors ahead of time or before they do massive damage, we're gonna have regulators crawling up our ass. That's just how it works. FTX was probably something to do with that. You know, we can see the fallout from that.
You know what?
I'm actually,
You know what I was going to say to that
Go
too
ahead.
is that if you're doing anything that's cross chain, right? Because we've got we're DeFi, right? We are not on a centralized exchange, so being that we're not under the same type of scrutiny yet that exists on a centralized exchange. If you have a person who is not the greatest, has some questionable business practices, definitely lacks morals and ethics. If they're cross chain and now you're engaging here with them, I have a very uncomfortable feeling in my gut that there's the possibility of shit rolling downhill. And now you're just as guilty because you're guilty of the sins that somebody else has committed simply because you've had maybe some type of interaction with them. And so my concern is, yeah, first of all, if somebody is doing things that are off-putting, are definitely not ethical, and are just shitty, like say something, tell somebody. I really truly think people lack the
Integrity.
courage
It's
to
the
just say
integrity.
things. Yeah, have some. Yeah, you know what? Have some self-respect first of all, because nobody wants that shit to happen to them. But when you don't say something, it's going to continue to happen. And that sucks, right? And then if you know that you could have prevented it, you got to live with that. I don't want to live like that, first of all. Second of all, we are not obligated to, and we do not owe anything to anybody except for ourselves. So that I'm not saying that you need to be selfish, but humans by nature, we're self preserving. But if you care about the friends that you've made in that community, and that's truly where your loyalty lies, then you got to look out for them too. And so I just think that people need to have some self-respect and some dignity in not just looking out for your own wallet. Because I'll tell you what, you know what that I see almost daily. I mean, I don't think yesterday I thought yesterday was going to be a day where I didn't have somebody come to me and suggest a project be onboarded onto NFTC, where they weren't directly affected and they weren't really bringing a project that needed help. It's always because they're one of the whales in there and they want to recover their initial buy-in, right? They want to save a project because they want to recover their money. I'm waiting for the day that happens where somebody comes in that has no vested interest in a project, and that has yet to happen. And we've been doing it since what, June? So that'll be a day I circle on the calendar. But I just think that when you have that, the likelihood that you could be culpable just because of the practices of another founder and you've got nothing to do with it, that should be motivation and reason enough to stay away. Because I don't want to be involved with anything somebody else has done, especially if I've said, no, thank you, I don't run my business like that and I don't treat people like that. And it'd be interesting to see how and if regulation kind of bleeds over and what type of obligation and responsibility does transfer over if somebody is doing shit across chain.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. It's been a lot of valid points bringing up, and honestly, especially with like kind of going back to Scat DAO, they've been around since February of last year, and I'm actually super bummed that I didn't even freaking know that. That could have saved me a lot of heartache, and actually, Maria, they probably could have saved NFTC a lot of heartache too, just by
Well,
knowing those.
yeah, probably right. Would definitely made my Friday nights a lot more interesting and less math. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do it exactly the same way because I learned a lot. And I think the best way to do things or to learn a life's lesson is when it goes straight across your back, right? And when you're confronted with the truth, it's always the most painful, and that's a lesson that sticks forever. I'm glad that I didn't have to. I'm glad that I learned it the hard way, but again, like I'm stupid, so I kind of need to learn things the hard way.
You're stupid.
But now knowing what has happened, oh my God, yeah, it's a huge asset and a tool, and I'm glad that maybe it would have been. I think we all needed this market to happen, quite honestly, because the data would be different if it didn't, right? We wouldn't even be having this discussion. There wouldn't be a need for rug revivals, and we wouldn't be talking about bad actors if they didn't exist in the first place.
Right.
So
Actually, historically, that's interesting you bring this up because we're kind of all new. So this is our first bear market, but the conversations and things that we've experienced in parallel happen to like Litecoin holders and other holders of like Ethereum and other projects and stuff like that. I think like I'm gonna give Ethereum like a little pat on the back. I think one of the reasons why you had all the scumminess in Ethereum is maybe the nicer, smaller communities that probably exist on Ethereum that are out there, right? That have built up, had gone through all this, but we lost them because their blockchain got so successful and so many other type of people went into it that you know what I mean? Like maybe we're in that precursor stage where Cardano has yet to fully explode, like
Yes,
Ethereum has.
yes. We do not have mass retail investors fucking up the market as far as connectivity and shit like that, which is why connecting with one another, the networking we can do right now is so important. But what I wanted to say to Maria's point on that was, man, I don't really know a good process to call partners, right? Like so, like for your project, and I'm sure NFTC, you guys have dealt with this a lot. Like, there's plenty of projects that come to you guys, they want to partner, and then they either just stop developing, or like fall off the map. Like, what's the process? Like, how many chances do you give them? What's the communication like? Can you give me some sort of as a somebody who's getting a project rolling, like what's the way to go about doing that, culling partners
yeah,
and shit?
so first and foremost, we only actually have one partner, and that's Cardistex, because we now own 25% of Cardistex, so they're our only actual partner. Everybody else that's within the NFTC ecosystem are affiliates.
Affiliates, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yep. And it's only because of that word, right? And the legality of the word, because we don't have an ownership interest in any other project that's within our ecosystem. We have a token that we've opened up for other projects on the blockchain to offer to their communities as a reward, because there are projects that have been here for a while and they have no intentions of going anywhere. So they are people who still are like a man of their word. And I don't mean that, again, only because I live in California. I'm not excluding women and or those that are transitioning. It's just a word. But yeah, your word still means something. So those are the projects that we have in our affiliate network. And the projects that come that are interested in onboarding right now, we just ended our beta phase. And our beta phase was for market research, so that we could see what it was that each unique type of project, because some are just PFP, some are game based, some are metaverse, some are I don't know, like they do 3D cool shit, some are doing real life development. So whatever it is that these projects have, their needs are unique, and then based on what the community needs are. So we gave them the token, and we looked at what was lacking that we could do to improve. Again, it's the Cardano community as a whole. and then to kind of make it more specialized into how people utilize an opportunity, right? Because that's another thing that you can discover.
Well, I mean,
So
you guys are providing them, right? Like, it's you
right, so we
feeding them
give a
until
so
you
they were
feed
given
them.
so during beta, every project that came in with into the ecosystem was given a same allotment of tokens to use for their community and to reward the community. And we attached ADA to that, and it now became a liquid asset, right? Because anybody can go out there if you do it correctly. I only know of one project that hasn't, and that was by default or by accident that I even discovered that there is a token out there that's not even a token. But so when you go out and you create your token has zero value unless you add money to it. So Andrew and I did that, and that token is liquid. You can take it right now and exchange it for ADA. With an NFT, it's illiquid. It is not going to have constant value, and it's going to fluctuate. Again, that's community driven. But we wanted to see what and how the token was utilized. And what we saw is it helped really inspire a lot of communities, because now for the first time, communities that didn't have a reward or didn't have something really going on for a while started to get something in return for being there, for not jumping ship and not turning into disgruntled members. And it was awesome. It was so awesome to see that. And then they got really creative. I know most recently we talked about the aping rat community because of the poker thing that they've created, and they're doing that for buy-in. You come in every Sunday, you pay a little bit of the NFTC token, and you can win NFTs and more tokens. So they've come up with unique ways for that token to be used. And then the lurkers have a marbles game that they do, and it's awesome. You buy in, and you've got a chance to win even more prizes. And then you have the Titans. The Titans went and they created NFT moments. Randall added that to their minter, so you can mint with the token. Code Art recently came up with a creative league where he put out, art for the Champions Soccer UEFA League, and it was run through our minter. We're using ADA and NFTC token to mint. And there's a bunch of others. I'm so sorry that that I'm neglecting to mention all of the use cases that people have. Oh, farm bot for the tipping bot. Oh, what am I missing? Pottery, help me. I totally am drawing blank. In any event, there's so many different ways that this token is being used, and it's all thanks. Well, yeah, but that's ours. Like we built that, and that's the best way to come out and buy the token.
That's the way to use the token, and you can get
That's
a freaking
true.
NFTs.
Right. So yeah, if you when we run a mint, it's split split ADA and NFTC, and if you were short, we have a vending machine where you can go buy the ADA. It's with ADA, you buy the token, and you have a chance to win an additional 25,000 NFTC, or an NFT from one of the projects within the ecosystem. You can buy coffee with it. Yeah,
Wait, for real?
almost yeah, Cardano Coffee Club. Thank you, DeFi, for that, and Sean. I mean, almost every project has come up with a really cool, creative way to give this token a new use case. And so, what we did through now that the beta is ending is we've taken that free money test, kind of like those, when they do those medical trials, and they're like, "We'll pay you to test out this medication." It's kind of like that. We paid so that we could, in exchange, receive market data and market research, so that we could figure out the best way to help everybody on the Cardano blockchain, not just in our metaverse, because you've got tokens where you can only get it if you're in their, off-chain DApp, which to me is stupid. Like, that's absolutely not helpful to anybody. And I'm not about a popularity contest. But what we did is we then put in all the data that we had collected, and then the historical data for projects that had been there for a while, and came up with a mathematical formula utilizing actual math to determine token allotment that a community is eligible for. And now that we're approaching the end of beta, which I think ends, this is the last epoch that we're in, and then the full formula of phase 1 kicks in. And so you saw people that were like, I was getting, 300 ADA worth every 5 days. Yeah, motherfucker, I know. And you were dumping it too. But where did you think that you were going to continue to get that forever? This is beta. And who told you were going to get that for 5 years? And people are misinformed and people get lied to because people lie. And that's sad and that's unfortunate. It's also something that we're not responsible for, what somebody says. So I'm really particular about calling somebody a project partner because they're not. And it's not me being a bitch. It's not me being rude or insensitive. It's just a simple fact. Because I'm only responsible for the shit that I say and for the stuff that I do, and not what others say or do. And
Okay,
really,
so
I'm pretty.
maybe my wording was incorrect. I
No,
feel
it's okay. I just,
yeah,
you know what? Honestly, I've like become almost like hypersensitive to it because I've got fans. That's what I'm calling my haters. I've got fans out there who are just waiting for an opportunity to spin my words. So I like the disclaimer part of it because the level of education or intelligence also is apparent in how people perceive words.
With my overpriced master's degree that I don't use a lot, it's called affiliate marketing. Is the full term you want to look at? It's affiliate marketing. So what they're really offering is an affiliate marketing program where all these other projects will benefit from mutually sharing.
But we're not a marketing, but we're also not a marketing company, right? So it's more of a platform where we honestly want to clean up the space as it is now, and we want to work with like-minded projects that care about their own community, can appreciate the fact that Cardano is a great place to be. We believe in what Cardano is doing, and we also are big enough and mature enough to acknowledge that we can't do it alone. So working with others is the best way to actually succeed because nobody fucking knows everything. I don't know everything. And I make a ton of mistakes every day. So I'm on my way to being a genius. But I still like to work with people who have different skill sets, who have different talent, because it helps me, one, excel and be a better person than I was the day before. And I'm learning something along the way, which hopefully will translate into making it a better place for everybody that's here. So that whole community can only really exist if we come together. And if projects that have the best intentions and that through a vetting process can also meet the basic standards of being one, having best business practices in place. The social reputation is huge. A lot of people fail to look at that as a value, but the identity that somebody has as an individual directly correlates to their business. And their community also is a great indicator of the toxicity of a project. So if a project founder is not treating his community well, oftentimes you're going to get a community that has been fed nothing but garbage. So it's not sustainable because their ecosystem is not healthy. So they're going to spew nothing but garbage out. It's also because they've been lied to. So they're frustrated and they're pissed and they don't know, they either don't know who to direct their anger at, or they're not prepared yet to confront the truth of their reality, and they don't know what to do. And I think that's the next solution or the next problem that needs to be solved. Is now we've recognized a problem. At least I think I've recognized a problem, and I think I have a solution to one problem. The next problem is, now that people are aware, what do if a founder is not willing to leave that project to the community members? And what do you do with projects where a community founder is also involved in other projects? And let's say Pattery, that there's a third individual. I know they're not good. I know that they have a bad reputation because people have come to me and have said, this is how, this individual has fucked me over, stolen stuff, done me wrong, mistreated me. This is the harassment that I've received from their little cult members. And you now start to go into some type of collaboration or some type of affiliation with them. If I don't tell you, then you're the next. The chances of you getting fucked over is bad, right? But now let's say
Yeah.
that enough people have now kind of raised a warning of like, and you see that community shrinking, and you see things kind of headed in a downward strength or downward swing. Well, now you're stuck. So you're the last man standing. So the next problem really is, well, what? So aside from like, what do you do when a community can't take over a project? And then after that is, what do you do with the projects that are now working with that project? Because now your choice and the next decision that you make can either add another nail in the coffin of that community and fuck them over forever, or you're just giving the impression that this is still a person with some level or shred of decency. And that's a really tough
That's
spot to
true.
be in.
Yeah,
So
no,
what do
that's
you fucking do?
I think you have a moral obligation to tell your homie what's going on, why you feel the way you do. I mean, even if you want to go as far as provide them information, because honestly, Maria, the funny thing about this is you and I have been through this together, and we've had these conversations, and we've pointed out things, and we've really been like, oh shit, this is something that we need to distance ourselves from.
Yeah.
And you know what we did? We turned around and we fucking ran. So
Yeah, we're like, peace out, bitch. I'm out. Like, yeah, but it's listen. That's like saying I don't owe it to anybody to explain why I'm not gonna buy something.
right,
That's like having some brand that I wear.
right,
I like my kicks, right? So I'm gonna wear my Vans when I'm on my board, and then if I'm running around doing something else, I'm gonna wear my Chucks. That would be like Vans coming over and telling me that I'm not allowed to wear anybody else's shoes, that I can only wear their crap. Really? Are you going to go earn my paycheck for me too? Because the last time I checked,
right.
I paid you for your shit, not for you to tell me how I'm going to do things, what I'm going to wear or promote. That's my decision to make. And if
No,
I want to
definitely.
spend it all on hookers and cocaine, I'm going to fucking do that too. Not that I would, because, I mean, come on. That's gross. But it's the point. The point is that there are so many freedoms that we give away that I don't think we're fully aware of, and it's that level of permission that we have allowed that is this continuation of this problem. But right now, what I see happening is the spaces become smarter. Rugs have happened. We can identify a scam so much better now than we could 6 months ago. Right? Nobody's falling
And
for
now
the
we got
stupid
tools.
tweets. Hell yeah, right. People are developing bots and they're making it open source because that's what Cardano is. So I fucking love that even more. But then you have now this new problem, which is nobody wants to work with bad actors. And the bad actors are like, how did they find out? Well, probably because you fucked over, I don't know, 50 people. Maybe that
Yeah.
kind of like,
'Cause-
and people don't like bad people
Yeah,
because we're getting smarter.
I've even told some people like that I knew that might be getting into bed with certain people that I've had, not the best experience with, and I told them, hey, I'm not telling you not to do this, but what I am going to tell you is my personal experience with this, and you can make up your own decision. Now, would I ever say that on Chilling with the Homies or anything else on the Hump Day space or whatever? Absolutely not. That's not where I'm going to bring it. But
Are you not saying it right now? I'm just kidding.
Well, no, what I think he's saying is
not.
he's not naming the person, and that's the other thing is, I'll read a tweet somebody will put on, and be like, "This just happened," and it's shocking, and it's sad, and it sucks, right? And they're in that community, and they're like, "Oh my god," they feel blindsided because they just didn't see it coming. And then you'll read through the comments below, and they're like, "You're fudding! How dare you say this shit?" And then it doesn't take much time where it's like they're gone, they're nowhere to be found. And and then I'll also read where somebody's like, "Hey, I have a question," and then you get pushback in the question. But what I'm seeing is that it's now happening. People are asking questions. When you have a space like this, though, the danger is that it's going to be, oh my god, you targeted this community, and now those community members, they're the victims. Okay, nobody's going to go and shit on somebody who was lied to. That's fucked up. What you're trying to do is you're just trying to give them a heads up in a very nice way of like, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, get the fuck out. It's not good. Like, this is a bad place to be. But you're also giving advertisement to somebody who doesn't deserve it. So I'm never going to name an individual or a project because they don't fucking deserve my attention or to
Ironic.
have their name uttered out of my mouth. I'm not giving you any type of advertisement, good or bad.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's more of like I'm kind of I agree with that aspect, but I'm also kind of like a neutral ground here. You know, it's not for me to say, it's not for me to not to say. If someone asks me, sure, 100%, I'll tell you. But like privately, but chilling with the homies is something we're here to boost projects and do what we can to get people's name out there. If you're doing something wrong, obviously I'm not going to have you on the space. But
That's the other thing. You bring up a great point. You are neutral. You are giving. You have a platform where projects have an opportunity to come up, talk about their project, and they're also putting themselves. In one sense, it's like being in court, right, where you get to be cross-examined with questions. But it's a way for the community to learn about a project and to get to know the people behind it. And that's so vital and it's important. But you, as an individual, own your thoughts, and you, as an individual, have the right to have your own opinion. But I can totally appreciate the position of I can't come out and say anything. If I'm speaking on behalf of NFTC, I will never step out of line because I am very consciously aware of the identity and reputation and the position that NFTC has in maintaining an unbiased stance. Because we're not here to discriminate against anybody, but we're also not here to just accept anybody if they don't meet a standard practice.
So going back to my question about how do you part with affiliates once you already have made them an affiliate or whatever, and then they're just they fall off or whatever, they're just not following through. That was my original question. Like I don't feel like I got that properly.
Oh, okay. So phase,
That's all I
so
wanted to.
no, yeah. So phase one is starting at the end of this epic. Today and tomorrow, Andrew and I, we have our own goals of getting everything updated, and then we'll have an onboarding process. Projects are not obligated to stay. Obviously, it's a come and go policy. If you happen to be an affiliate and you want to keep staying in the program, awesome, but you're free to leave whenever. At the same time, if you violate any type of code of ethics or do anything that violates our business practices and standards, then you're no longer eligible to participate in the program because we're not going to support or encourage anybody who's there with any bad
And that's just
intentions,
at
and it just
discretion,
ends.
or is there
I mean,
like certain number of strikes, or is there like a policy or whatever?
so I will tell you that it will all be up on the website, hopefully by tomorrow, with more documentation to come. But as of right now, everything is in our GitHubs. So if you go onto the nftcreative.ca website, our documentation is on there until phase one is in full swing. And we have a current promotion right now, and I think it goes to like Epic 403 or 5. I can't remember, one of the two. Where then the open enrollment of new affiliates will then be available to the public. So there's still some time before it's a full open enrollment, but you can always send us a DM in the meantime for us to walk you through and share some stuff before we start launching all the other new stuff that we've got coming out.
Shaggy, I also want to kind of point out too, do you have legal counsel? Or are you looking for legal counsel? Because this might be
No, 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 no. I'm not looking for no legal counsel. I'm simply asking, like, what is the process and procedure when built, like, you know what I'm saying, from other community founders in Cardano. If I'm supposed to be working with other, affiliates, partners, or whatever, what's a good baseline? You guys have been around. You guys are kind of community leaders. What's a good baseline as far as how to run it? Do I do a strikes thing? Do I just cut it at discretion, at will, whatever?
This is what I've seen, Shags. Is first off, depending on what line was crossed in code of ethics, outlines, agreements, whatever. First, you check them. You're like, yo, you're not upholding your bargain. WTF? Maybe it might be an accident. Maybe they didn't understand what they were really onboarding onto. Then once you kind of identify that issue, if they transgress again or continue to do those things, then their policy ID will be removed from receiving benefits. That's my understanding of it all.
Yeah, there's a strict rule like harassment, bullying, any type of criminal activity. There's no tolerance for that, including any acts of discrimination. That's not tolerable. It's not justifiable, and it's unexcusable. Any type of wash trading, insider trading, anything at all that is fraudulent behavior will not be tolerated. And that is just an immediate go fuck yourself. Those aren't legal words. The go fuck yourself, I should say, is not. It's like, have a nice day, best of luck
Right,
to you
right,
in all your
right.
future endeavors. That's probably how I would word it.
I wish I was smart enough to do insider trading.
Oh my god, you have no idea how many people are
Yeah.
doing it.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
a
they're
lot.
better than me.
They're good at what they do if they only applied their
I have.
skills to a better craft.
I think my integrity is due to ignorance. No, I'm just. I'm just
You know what?
Nah, nah. That shit comes from the heart, bro.
Yeah, and like you're saving lives, like real life humans. So you're kind of busy,
I'm
man.
just
You're
curing them of their herpes. Well, not really, or just putting it at bay.
clap the chlamydia. Ugh, gross.
Hey, just take
Yeah,
a
so
clap.
if somebody, yeah, so that's a great analogy. If somebody's like an STD in our program, we're gonna cure it by removing it.
Yeah, they're gonna stick me on you.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Appreciate that title. I see that. I see that. Much love, and I really appreciate y'all answering that question. I'm just, as relatively new to the space, trying to figure out what's the best way to run a community of communities of sorts. I'm not, gonna be on the standard side, more on the adult content side. So our rules, of course, are gonna be a little bit different, but probably standard. If you break the law, get the fuck out right away. If you're just being a douchebag or like posting links somewhere, you should, what I'm saying, maybe that's a few strikes or whatever to get the boot. But you know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to get a
Yeah.
feel for other community leaders.
Look, look,
Because that's
it's
the
your
thing, y'all are
business.
thought leaders.
It's your business, and so nobody can tell you how to run your business. So when you have you put in your business policy, you determine what's the best practices for you and the type of community you want to foster. So when you're out there and you're setting up rules for people, somebody might have an infraction that you didn't even think of until it actually happens. So as long as you allow some type of correction to a specific action, you're gravy. I think because you're doing adult content, my biggest advice to you would be to make sure that the people that are in your
Age
community are 18 and
verification.
older. Yeah, make
Yes,
sure
That's
that
right.
they are old enough,
Yes.
number one. And here's the second one, that there has no links or tiebacks to human trafficking.
Yep.
Because you want to make sure that those two things are the biggest
You
that
should
you
create
squash.
something where you have to put your wiener in, or genitalia on it, and it
Bruh.
guesses your age.
Like a ball sack fingerprint scanner.
Yeah, exactly.
Gross. I haven't
Yeah.
eaten all my breakfast now, and it's an English muffin. It looks all wrinkly and shit
Well,
powdery.
I was trying to help with
I'm gonna go
verification.
lick it.
Lick
I'm not
that
being serious.
motherfucker.
I'm not being serious, but that would be hilarious. Just
No,
Oh
saying.
yeah, it
for
would
On the
be.
other
real
side of
talk. Yeah.
stripper coin,
Yeah.
that space is amazing. I just want to say that. Oh, sorry,
Pressing
Shaggy.
attack on the
Oh,
screen.
go ahead,
Please.
Title. I wasn't trying to cut you off, brother.
No, I was saying I've been here in the space with stripper coin where you've been at like a couple times. That place is amazing. You know what I mean? It's so supportive, and there's so many nice people. It's crazy. It's like a totally different place, but it's like a nice place too. I just want to throw that out there. I don't know if you're a regular or whatnot, but that space is like almost every Friday. Is that what's happening? Is that like an every Friday space or?
So I'm not sure with Slim as far as like if he plans on continuing it every Friday, but he has just wanted to be as updating and communicative to his investors and holders as possible, and his community. He's done a really good job in developing the community. That's just kind of where I want to step in, is kind of help out in vetting and onboarding some of the adult content creators. Not necessarily strippers entirely, but I'm pretty well in bed, so to speak, with a lot of the clubs and strippers and music community out of Memphis. So I plan on just being able to vet people, onboard them, get that kind of out of his way, so he can focus on developing his project. And that's really where I want to stand, not just with Slim, but also with Six City. We provide a safe space, quotes, because it's not safe for work, but we can come, get high, smoke, talk business. We got a good little community we're building, people who can help build credit, financial literacy guys, people with hood backgrounds, people, what I'm saying, from all different walks of life. We can focus on adult content creation, music, gaming. However, these creators, content creators, can engage with and interface with their community. And Slim is going to be who we partner with, literally partner with Maria, for our token gating and all that jazz. Because we're working with OnlyFans content creators, that allows us to easily vet them, at least, because OnlyFans is very strict about age verification. So if you're a verified creator on OnlyFans, pretty much good to go. We ask for ID from all members who want access to that side of the server, though. And that just has to go through admin right now until we have our token gating in place, which is why we have not made this a public thing. It's only invite only right now. But yeah, we are.
Invite me.
I can. I got you, Powder. I got you. Just
I love Roy and Jimmy. Those two are like the sweetest, nicest guys. Like honestly,
Yeah,
two
they're
great
dope.
projects, two great dudes. I love what they're fucking doing. And Casey's a sweetheart. Oh my god, I love her.
Oh, she's absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
She is.
she really is. Yeah, I couldn't think of a single negative thing to say about them. And if I ever did, it's because I'm an asshole. No, great people, great people.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to get them on here, man.
Jimmy Slim, we got some people from other blockchains actually. We're working with. We've been messing around with the After Dark community over there on ETH, the Web3 Exposed team. We're gonna really try and get a lot of that liquidity over here in Cardano. What I've noticed from spaces there, and we shit on ETH people all the time here in Cardano, but a lot of them really just don't know how far Cardano has come. Last time they heard about Cardano was over a year ago. We didn't fucking have smart contracts or some shit. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how far it's come. They don't know that we have projects like Soundrig, projects like Noom. They don't know about the music scene. They don't know about NFTC. They do not even know that Hosky is actually doing so. You know what I'm saying? It's a meme token here. We have a better one than them. I'm just gonna be honest. We got better meme tokens than them. We got Charles token. We got Wolf token. We got Hosky. You know what I'm saying? Like we've got a lot of DeFi projects. A lot of these ETH people just don't know. So slow and steady.
Bitboy Crypto showed that was FTX FUD, man. I don't know if you know that.
Right.
A lot is coming from Sam Bankman, so.
Yeah, we didn't. Apparently, the Cardano community didn't suffer too badly from that. So I'm really happy to hear that. But yeah, man, I really look forward to developing that sort of community. I'll invite you, Powdery. Just shoot me a DM. I'll add you on Discord and everything. We'll get that shit rolling. Anybody else down here in the comments or listening? You guys, that seems like your type of thing. We have little match sessions every day. We get work done. If you got credit questions, finance questions, whatever, we'll at least connect you with some people who might be able to help. It's not financial advice. Just a group of friends trying to help one another out and shit. But yeah, man, I really appreciate y'all letting me up here. I gotta run. I'm packing up to move back to Memphis literally this week. So much love, Powdery. Much love, Maria. Title, Drizzle, War Dogs fam. I see you, Charles Token. Lord.
Nah, we appreciate you, Shags, man. We love having you around, dude. You're a freaking dope ass cat. I say that every time you come up here, but yeah, man, freaking super dope.
Well, y'all have a good day, bro.
You too, man.
And I love the question. Sorry, so not to be gross, but where I actually have real long fingernails that are mine, they're not fake, and I jammed it 2 days ago, like right in the middle. And so I've been trying to remove the last bit of fingernail as you were talking, and I was like, if they only knew how unsexy this is right now. But thank you for all the kind words, and thank you for the questions, and nice job in picking some really great projects to work with, because like I said, Jimmy, Roy, Casey, fucking great people. I love them. Please tell them I said hello.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I think we've come to that part of the night. I think it's time to say au revoir. What do you think?
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm ready. All right. Well, I guess night, but day for you guys. Driz? Since you're up here, start us off.
Well, I'm glad I got to.
So he's first.
Those are my final thoughts. I kind of
He's always first.
But
I think he might have fell asleep.
I want to say this right now. Mel token has gone a little.
Go ahead, title.
Cardano's gone a little down.
Well, I'm glad I got to give that shout out to Shaggy. Those are my final thoughts. I kind of gave him a little too early. It's almost
They would
1:37. I want to say
mature.
this right now. Mel token has gone a little up, even though Cardano's gone a little down. I just looked that up because of all the DeFi talk we had, and yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know. I think that we're getting some really good quality projects. I think chilling with the homies is getting better as there's just more stand up projects that are coming towards us, and I hope that keeps up. I'm also a little sad that it's not the same craziness we had like a year ago, right? I know things develop, things grow, but I kind of miss the insanity of just coming into this, right? That used to be here, and I think Drizzle, he's half awake and half asleep, he's like, oh yeah, yeah, like he's nodding or something. So and I want to throw this out here, even though I'm extremely busy. Yeah, if anyone has any questions or anything about the space, yeah, ask me and or share. I found out some really cool stuff on the stripper tokens thing about metaverse and some of the stuff they're doing. And the other, oh, that's right, there is one more shout I do want to give out that Shaggy might have missed. They are developing marketplaces for other NFT, not safe for work. Like projects. So that is something I'm very interested in, and I might be joining, at least getting an NFT, a box girl, because those sold out. Just because I like that idea of having this marketplace where not safe for work content can have a place that's kind of legally protected. In the sense everything's been done for them, so I'm excited about that. And I'm excited for where the project's going to go. Catch us on Wednesday, and that's all I got. I love y'all. Peace out.
Thanks, buddy. Maria?
Thank you for letting me pop in the space. I really love the guests today, and I like that there is a project out there that has the same commitment and desire to help us stay informed and is creating tools for us to use so that we can actually make better and more informed decisions. So thanks for letting me come in and bump my gums. And
this is your too.
I love it. It is so weird. I said it last Saturday too. It is so weird. There are Saturdays I wake up, and now, mind you, like I really should probably be in the studio right now preparing for training, but I got to send you a picture of what I did to my fingernail. I was going to do it this morning, and then I was like, no, let's let him get through the space. But I totally am an idiot and hurt myself all the time. It's so gross. But yeah, thank you for letting me come in. I'll be back when it's the roast for Jimmy Bones. I'm actually looking forward to that. It's going to be hard to make fun of Jimmy Bones because he's like the nicest fucking guy. So what are we supposed to do? I mean, I'm going to think of shit. I'll make a ton of stuff up for sure. But
Oh yeah,
that'll be an
I'm
exciting
making
space.
a bunch of stuff up.
I like it. Yeah, let's start rumors.
But if Jimmy Bones was a good guest, he would fill out the application and give us stuff to use against him.
But it isn't because you're doing the space for him. So what's he gonna? Like you invited him to be the target.
But he agreed.
It's true.
We're gonna have a nice guy disclaimer at the beginning of the show and throughout the show, just in case anyone like chimes in and thinks he's the biggest asshole in the world. We need to like keep reminding him he's not.
No, yeah. I think if they're in this space, everybody knows Jimmy Bones. He's in everybody's Discord saying good morning and good night. Like he's just so nice. It's crazy. He's such a better person than I am. But I love it. I love coming in here and I love talking to you guys. I'm sad Andrew's not here.
I know.
I'm actually sad that I didn't think about making fun of him. Yeah, I would like. He's not gonna come every. Dude, we're really busy, and we have like our own little goals and deadlines. But honestly, there's stuff that's like ready to launch, and putting out the information, writing the documents, and making sure that the wording is all correct and the math ties out. And then going across 40 different projects to make sure that they're all in the know and that they've got all the information. It takes a little bit of time, you know. I mean, how many project people say, "Oh, you have no idea how hard it is to run our project." That's one. We have over 40 that we've got to make sure have their unique paperwork sent out. So hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, it'll be less chaotic, and then Andrew can come in more often. But I don't know. I don't know. But I love you. Thank you for having me here, and I thank everybody who listened to my. Oh my god! Like rant? Did I rant? I did.
Yeah, a bit.
I'm sorry, but I did. I don't know. Sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna go deal with my bloody finger. It's so gross.
Blech.
I know.
Well, thank you for coming by. I greatly appreciate it. I also saw Cardistacks in here for a little bit, which is super dope. I love having them around. Um, it's been this is a really good show. Thank you, Lord, for hooking us up. Lord has been a vital asset to chilling with the homies and bringing us quality projects. We got a lot on the docket, and I'm going to be getting March's schedule out actually pretty soon because there's enough projects to fill up March and probably part of April as well. So you guys are starting to see that because I'm trying to push out um, monthly spaces for you guys to check out and see what's going on. That way you can see the schedule and kind of pick and choose, and also get the information out there for people to freaking show up. We actually had a good showing today, which I was pretty stoked about. So that was good for people to hear about Scat Dow. So if you really enjoyed the space, make sure you go follow them and go see what they got going on. They got a couple websites. You can go to scatdow.com. And you can also go to the DYOR.io tool or DYORtool.io and check that out and play with it a little bit. I'm actually going to be playing with it a little bit myself because it seems to be pretty interesting. And now that I know that I have this tool, I want to utilize it and make sure that when I'm checking into projects, I can verify it just a little bit more. So definitely great to have them on. Again, thank you to Lord, my man, the myth, the legend. I appreciate you, Mr. Title Pending, for always producing, and Maria for being always dope ass co-host. Whether you're around or you're not, you always got a home here. So don't worry about it. You don't have to thank me for being able to talk. This is your space too. You should know that. And finally, to all the listeners, thank you guys for hanging around, listening to what we got to say. I greatly appreciate it. And I know there's a couple people out there that I need to get back to and respond to. I will get to it as soon as I can. I'm kind of waiting for a little bit of craziness to settle down. And once it does, hopefully I can get back into it. I've been trying to get to it for the past 7 months, and it's been difficult, but I will get there one day. I promise you. But with that being said, let me see. Let me get to it. Next week, same time, same channel. And you guys know that our mission here at Chillin' with the Homies is that we aim to provide a platform for NFT projects, no matter their size, to reach a wide array of listeners. We believe if NFT projects and content creators work together, we can benefit listeners, projects, and the blockchain. The success of one can blaze a path for many. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
I should always thank you. Thanks again. Do your own research. Oh shit. Stop.